Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I guess I wasn't gonna go live about this fire again, you know, but I wasn't gonna go live. But guess what? We are here again because yeah, some stuff happened. They had another explosion. They had another big fire that broke out in the same facility, and it's actually this one is burning like 2 times larger than the one last night. And I was gonna do a Brandon's here. Hello, Brandon. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're just gonna wait for people to roll in a little bit. And yes, I have 2 different cameras today. I'm being all fancy over here. Woohoo! We get the 2 different Xanasides. um, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is go through the brand new press release because this fire got exploded again today. And I don't know which side it got exploded on. Is it like Tesla side now? Is it the Tesla batteries are running after Elon Musk was running around saying like, those are not my batteries. Those are not my batteries. They're LG. Like, you know what? Yours is like right next to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did caught on fire or something, right? Because, they're just batteries. Um, but the images are absolutely horrific. Uh, yeah, so they have. Let me pull up some of the really, really cool shots that somebody sent me earlier. And Instagram. Share screen. Present. All right. Yeah, these are pretty amazing shots. And this is the secondary fire. Let me share the screen. Do. Hey Brandon, if you want to jump on a panel, you're more than welcome to. And just let me know if you do or not. Yeah, look. Oh my goodness, there's 2 Xanas. What is going on in here? What is going on? All right, let's remove one. So this is pretty neat. I mean, like, obviously it's a toxic fumes. And then let me get my banner up. So we're gonna do another press conference on it, right? So there's toxic fumes, and this is because this morning we did a live this morning, and it didn't have a lot of fire on it. It was just a little smoke. So, and then they were saying like they were getting it contained. I think it was like about 30% contained at the time. And all of a sudden there's a big old explosion of another fire. Even though those are lithium ion. Let's see. Sweet. Yeah. Let me know when you're ready. I'll drop a link so that way we can chit chat about this fire and listen to the presser as well. So yeah, they had it contained about 30% this morning, and the press brief was pretty interesting. Like talk about like different residents and what they did last night, the evacuation, and they evacuated over 1,300 personnel, and then they did it really, really fast. We were streaming last night and pretty impressed on how fast a lot of people actually complied with evacuation orders. And even though they were not mandatory, but the evacuation orders were there, so it's pretty interesting. This reminds me of like some Chernobyl stuff or something, but it's still toxic fumes. It's toxic fumes. Well, look at this. Look at that. Yeah, so hydrogen fluoride. That because when lithium ion batteries, they when they are on fire, they release hydrogen chloride into the air, and hopefully, yeah, we're gonna check it out, like where the plume is actually heading to, where the wind direction is, and there I saw these. So they have EPA responding as well to do like to do the air quality test, and we're gonna check it out the airflow now as well. So just kind of yeah, it looks like some nuclear power plant. But they did say it in the press conference this morning. They did mention it was similar to 3 Mile Island in a battery storage facility. I was like, oh, okay. Well, is it really though? Well, I mean, yes, yes. If you think about the release or how it happened, the negligence, and they still don't know exactly what happened because it's under investigation, but they believe it is some kind of failure on the storage plant part because this is not the first time happened. This is the first time that's this big, but they had two fires back in the day. They had one in 2019 and 2020, 21. My apologies. Yeah, so this is a fire number three. Guess what? The world's largest energy for or the battery storage facility is engulfed in flames and it's gone. Yeah, it's definitely putting a hamper or damper on our battery battery plan for state of California. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's get to I'm gonna get to the presser release that they did earlier this morning. Got our banner up so we don't get kicked out from the live stream. Fair use. There you go. Boom. Yep. All right. Let's play this.
From KSBW Action News 8.
We are back again covering the fire at the Vistra Energy Storage Plant in Moss Landing. That fire continues to burn this afternoon.
We had a flare up just after noon. A press conference is now underway. We're going to take you out there right now. Dawn Addis is speaking.
All right, let's get Brendan over here, and then we'll start a presser right after. Sweet. I was just checking the sound. I guess the sound is pretty good. Yay. Hell yeah. All right, so we got quite a few people watching. I love it. Hey, you guys. So, by the way, last night, between the two live streams that we did last night, as we had like 5,000 people. Hi.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Good. Hey, I like the matching purple background.
Oh yeah, we both have purple. Yeah, I didn't notice that until now. That's awesome.
Oh, and green too.
Yeah, yeah, this thing changes. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Mine thing changes too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing my alien shirt this time around because you know what, aliens did it.
Oh yeah, well, I want to believe in them and live long and prosper.
Right. So it's my fourth live stream about this fire because I did two yesterday, right? Just kind of while all of this is happening, and this morning just to check in on the press conference and see what's going on. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's just a little smoke coming out. You know, they're just testing some air and seeing if they can bring the residents back in. And I had my friend text me. She's like, yeah, so it got exploded. Now it's like 3 times bigger. Yeah.
So, is it because the wind?
No, it's because the heat and everything. Other batteries got overheated. And like they're right next to it. Like it's not the same stack of batteries, but it's the batteries right next to it got. Because the heat is so high, you know, it's constant burning.
They're working overload too, right?
Exactly. Kursuma, hello. Right. Oh, check out my other cool camera.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. You have your little webcam too.
Yeah. Okay, wait,
That's
hold on a second. What's going on in here? Let's do this. Oh, there you
So
go.
you have your
Aha.
DSLR and a webcam, right?
Yeah, so this is my DSLR, right?
Uh-huh.
This is my actual just Logitech, just my like everyday streaming camera. I want to get a new one, and then get like a little bit different lights and everything too. Hi, Kirsuma.
Oh yeah, nice to see you, Kirsuma.
Yeah, I don't know, just trying out something different, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's fun.
Why?
Yeah, I tried something different too, and yeah, but I have the purple in the background constantly as well.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what it
conspiracy.
is.
Purple
Yeah.
power. But yeah, the fires have been crazy, and I've been watching it along with Lewis too,
Mm-hmm.
and like the air quality still is terrible from what I hear from them, people from Los Angeles that we know.
Oh yeah. Oh, Lewis has been streaming about it too.
Yeah, no, he has been talking about it because
Okay.
yeah, he lives out there,
Nice.
and
Oh
so
no,
it's
no,
like
no. The Moss Landing fire.
the Moss Landing.
Yeah, the Moss
Oh,
Landing, the
okay.
hazmat fire.
See, I haven't seen that one really. That's the one you're talking about with the batteries, though. So that's
Yeah.
where it's kind of crazy. So yeah, school me on that. The
Okay.
presser, will the presser reveal some of that or no?
Oh yeah. So the presser will reveal some. So these are the current images. Well, they
Mhm.
were taken not long ago, right? This person posted like 2 hours ago. So you see the smoke, all of the
Mhm.
smoke. Guess
Yeah.
what? When lithium ion battery burns, guess what? All of this is this hazardous smoke.
Oh
As
yeah.
in, yeah, it's a hydrogen fluoride. And hydrogen
Mhm.
fluoride causes a burning sensation. It can damage some lungs and any mucous areas. It can have burning sensation as well. So upper respiratory damage, your nose, everything, nasal passages. So they say that air quality was okay, and they didn't pose any danger, but they haven't like really tested out, like they haven't, EPA hasn't come out there yet, and so they
Mm.
actually have an EPA working out there right now testing the air quality, and we'll see what they're gonna come out with, because this cloud, because it's heading towards here, like
Mm.
this cloud and the way it goes. We actually talked about um, last night, is because this cloud is completely different compounds than like burning house, like a burning
Mhm.
house, burning plastic or anything. So all of that burning, when the house is burning or the wildfire is burning, it tends to go up a lot more. But the chemical compound of this cloud is heavier than the regular smoke. So it actually kind of like seeps down below the winds,
Yeah.
because yeah.
It's crazy. Without giving away exactly where I live, but I'm from Houston, and recently there was a Pemex, so it's like petroleum company from Mexico. They had an explosion out here, and right next to it is like there's Shell. There's also other chemical plants that make plastics. What they call polymers. And whenever there's explosions, they look just like that, like those big old plumes of smoke that just weigh heavy in the atmosphere.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm very similar or familiar with that. And yeah, the air though, it is bad to breathe in. I mean, it is not good for the surrounding communities, though. I can say that.
Yeah. So last night, whoa, I'm hitting the mic over here. I need to start placing it somewhere else. So last night, we just jump on and kind of start seeing like what is going on. So this news reporter, so like we're watching the news live stream, and so this news reporter was not very far, maybe I would say like maybe 30 feet away from the entrance, right? And he was talking the whole time, and then all these fumes are coming out and everything. He was talking, and obviously, and first of all, he kind of did looked, a little tipsy as well. So it's probably like, oh, partying up in Monterey, California, and now I have to go and cover this fire, the
Yeah.
battery storage plant. And he was talking and talking, and everybody's like, put a mask on, put a mask on, put a mask on. And later on, as the night went on, he like started losing his voice, and we're like, yeah, put a mask on.
I
So
mean,
It was interesting to watch it, how everything, it was like, um it was unraveling on live, on live stream, like everything was unraveling. We were trying to see if they'll have a press conference up, but they didn't have it last night. They just put up some updates, and they had the press conference this morning, and this is the second emergency press conference that they had today. I haven't seen it yet, so they'll be able to explain it to you, a little bit more. So that's why I wanted to jump on in here, just kind of to see this press conference. So
Awesome. Well, let's
yeah,
get into it, huh?
you ready? Yeah, let's get
Yeah.
into it.
CEO
right
of
now.
Vistra and working hand in glove with Supervisor Church. I want to thank the supervisor for the tremendous amount of work
I'm
that
gonna
he
speed it
has
up a
been
little bit.
doing and that County Emergency Services has been doing to make sure that people are safe. Safety is of our utmost importance, and we are calling for this battery energy storage to stay offline. It is offline at the moment. We would
Well, you
like it to
kind of
stay
have
offline.
to
We'd like a
kind of have to be
commitment
offline.
that the battery energy
Yeah, I
storage is
hope so.
going to stay off.
Wait, she's saying, yeah, we ordering this battery storage to stay offline. It kind of is offline already. I don't think it's
Yeah,
functional.
they caught on fire. They overheated. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
do you see this fire and do you see this plume? Yeah, I think it's not functional.
No, yeah, they're
I thought
done. They shut
that
down
was
the.
funny.
Oh my gosh.
Offline, and that the community will get the information they need to let them know not that it is safer, but that it is completely safe, because we have heard that message before, and the community needs this assurance now before this plant ever comes back online. So I'll turn it over to the supervisor now. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. I'm Supervisor Glenn Church, District 2, which covers this area. Appreciate working with you and all our partners here in the county, and especially in North County and North County Fire, which has been the lead agency onto this. Quite aware that this is a technology of the future and is really important for how we go ahead and dealing with a whole range of issues, from climate change to other just way we move forward and sustainability. But the immediate concern here is 50,000 people that are within this area, maybe 100,000 people. You can consider the city of Watsonville within the area of this plume, because the winds can shift around back and forth. Our realizing that this is a $1 billion investment, I realize Vistra has put their best foot forward, I believe, in trying to make sure there's a safe and secure operation here. But the fact is that even with all that we know and the best we've tried under regulatory processes, under the private enterprise process, we have this incident here. And in terms of putting forth a good faith effort for the community, which is very concerned about all the facilities and the operation of them here, I share the request from Assembly Member Addis
I have a
that
question.
while this is
Yeah.
offline now,
Do they put the shelter in place for these people?
No, they're evacuated.
Oh, evacuated. Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because
so they had the evacuation here. Let me pull up the duty.
yeah, because these guys are giving like word salad right now with some of it.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I saw somebody ask though too about do the masks help with toxins like that?
Yeah,
I
okay,
don't
so
think
the
like
masks, those regular masks, the biological mask, they do not help with toxins like this, but they kind of help you to just a little bit, filter out just a little bit. It's because the toxins, the molecules are a lot smaller than biological entities. So that's why if they have like a painter's mask on, that would be a lot better protection because of the filters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean a little background. I used to work when I first started editing, I used to do safety videos. And so like people that are working in chemical plants or like hazardous materials, we'd make videos on how to put the PPE, personal protective equipment, on, properly. And so yeah, I learned about all those the masks like that, for chemicals. So yeah, the N95 ones that people were wearing for the Rona, no, those won't work.
Yeah, they won't work. But it still helps, just a little bit, not like
Oh
just
yeah.
some kind of a little bit of protection, right? So this is Moss Landing. So this is where the fire's at. So all of this area was evacuated. So it's about 1,300 people, like all around throughout this area. And last night, the largest plume was heading towards this direction, right? So that's why, and then kind of to relate where everything is at. Zoom, 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 zoom. So San Francisco's right here, right?
Okay.
And then LA is all the way over here. Whoa. Well, I might end up going down there for a job. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's crazy how that's happening far apart, and they're two totally different things, though. I don't think I just hope it doesn't cause any more people to leave their houses and people take advantage. I don't know if the winds are blowing those stuff too, because that's how it spread with Los Angeles, right? They had the embers were getting blown, but these are just plumes of smoke. So
yeah. So let me see if I can find like a really really good video of oh yeah, they had what, the evacuations orders are lifted now. Good. That's good. Okay. So anyways, evacuation orders are lifted. Let me see if I can find like a really really good video of when it was burning.
that's awesome. Well, breaking news here on Zanime. But it's like so I guess they contain the fire then, so that's good to hear.
Well, they can't really, with those kind of fires, they can't contain them.
They
They
gotta
have to let them burn. Yeah, burn, baby, burn.
Disco Inferno. Huh?
Yeah,
I gotta let it run its course, I guess, and they gotta, like you said, shut off all the chemicals that are in those pipelines, so it won't spread and fuel the fire.
exactly. And some images came out of that. It was horrific. Puniciones in the house. Like, we're having a nice and small crowd today. Yesterday, it was like the chat was exploding. Yesterday, I could like barely catch up with questions.
Oh dang! Yeah, I think I was in here for just a second.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was really fun. Like we're so accumulative views that I got on videos was like 5,000.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So but the thing is, like, it reached 5,000 people, to actually get the news out there, and that's the whole point of going live during like those kind of emergencies, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then just kind of like putting a little professional perspective out there.
well, that's what they tune in for here, so.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on, commercials. Ugh. The usual.
Yeah. YouTube, I already pay for memberships on things too. So.
Yeah, no, it's the okay, there you go.
Oh, it's that though. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
First reported yesterday, burning at the Vistra battery storage facility in Moss Landing on the east side of Highway 1 near the sort of the iconic smokestacks that everybody knows.
As for the timeline of this fire, reports came in initially about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. This is time-lapse video taken from a distance from the fire.
So that was last night.
The county then put evacuation orders in place. Nobody was hurt in that evacuation. Highway 1 was closed in both directions in Moss Landing last night. It remains closed at this hour.
And the fire continued through the night. We have some new aerial footage sent in from a viewer showing the fire raging last night. Clear skies allow the smoke to be seen from miles away. That smoke is a real concern when it comes to this fire. We're going to have much more on that a bit later. In this video, you can see it burning west of those iconic Moss Landing smokestacks.
This morning, the fire was still burning, not as intensely. Helicopter footage of it taken around noon today, right before the big flare-up happened. It is burning to the east side of Highway 1.
That was this morning.
Highway 1, impacting the flow between Monterey and Watsonville.
And then, as we've been saying, big flare up
There it
just
is.
after noon today. Second plume of smoke can be seen rising. The flames could be seen again. A local emergency was declared. Officials said that 75% of the building was burned before the flare up today. Cause of the fire is still being investigated.
Now, evacuations, they were in effect for.
Hold on, they didn't show the really big flare up. I'll try to find a video, but let's listen to this. I'll show.
Okay.
There's actually a video of like a huge
this
flare up.
fire. This is a current look at the evacuation orders in Moss Landing, covering the bulk of the Moss Landing community, Elkhorn and the like, the rural areas around the plant. The temporary evacuation center set up at the Castroville Recreation Center on Crane Street.
New details now from the County of Monterey on the evacuation.
The American Red Cross taking over the Castroville Rec Center. That's where the evacuees were able to stay overnight.
Right now, they say that 37 people, including nearly a dozen children, were staying at that shelter. They also have several dogs and a cat. They have room for more. The Moss Landing evacuation was affecting
You can't
about
forget those
1,200
cats.
residents.
No.
We have team coverage tonight with the fire, what we can expect next. We begin with Action News 8 reporter Brooke Kinnebrew, who is live in Salinas. And tonight, the issue of evacuations in question. Brooke?
It doesn't look like
Okay.
it's a big spread out sprawling chemical plant area though. Like I mean they're in a channel with the you know the water, the body of water right there, but it doesn't seem like.
But this right here, this plume, it's toxic. It's like
Oh,
nothing but
it
toxic.
is toxic. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy, but it's good that it's not big. Like, because if there's like nearby chemical plants like all along that little line of water right there, it'd be dangerous. Because then imagine if those things start catching fire.
That scene looks like from a Mad Max movie.
Oh yeah, it does. It looks like it's post-apocalyptic, and
Right?
with California right now too. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And that was just last night. Those pictures last night. I did found a video. I do kind of want to finish this video really fast, but I did find a video where it was like a flare up during the day too. So these were just last night pictures.
Wow.
In question, Brooke?
Dan and Aaron, I'm at the Emergency Operations Center in Salinas now. I just spoke with Andy Rosas from the Monterey Sheriff's Department, and he tells me that evacuation order has been lifted. He tells me that the U.S. EPA has been working with environmental agencies, and they've determined that there's no current threat to anyone, but they are still advising people to stay inside, keep doors and windows closed, and make sure those AC units are off. Now, I have Rosas with me right here. If you want to tell me, I'm sure people are concerned, wanting to make sure, how do we know that the air quality is safe? So tell me again, I know the US EPA has been doing a lot of work, but, if you know anything, what did they find and what made the county say, okay, yes, we feel confident in lifting these orders?
Well, this is a cooperative effort. The US EPA has been working with other agencies to test air in the area. So it's
This guy
not
definitely
just
looks
one
like a
agency,
cop.
it's multiple entities.
Well,
that are
he is
doing
a
this
cop.
testing, and the
Yeah, he
data
looks like
Interesting.
the
shows that
haircuts.
there
You
is
could
no
Oh
definitely
threat
yeah,
to,
right.
human life.
Like a
Based on that
military and a
information,
cop too.
the
Oh,
Monterey
I
County
bet
Sheriff's
he did
Office
some
has elected to
military time.
go ahead and,
Yeah.
and remove, cancel all evacuation orders effective immediately. So these orders are lifted. People can now return to their homes. It is important to let people understand that there are still going to be road closures in effect. There's going to be hard closures and soft closures. The difference being that soft closures are designed to kind of keep traffic out of areas where they may get themselves caught up in a bottleneck somewhere, versus hard closures where we will not be letting people by those closures. And some of those are still around the immediate area of the Vistra plant. So these decisions have been made based on a cooperative effort of multiple agencies that have said no threat to human life at this time.
I do want to ask, is it possible that this could change? Because, if there are flare-ups again, I'm sure you guys will obviously send out a message and will relay that.
I don't know how much more
is there a
it
chance
can
that this
burn.
could
It's already
change? I mean,
burned 70% of it.
anything new that could happen overnight, or just kind of not sure yet?
Absolutely. Anything is possible at this point. We can also
Nearby
confirm
stuff?
that these monitoring efforts are ongoing. They are not over. They will continue. And if anything changes, any information that we need to get out to the public will be done so immediately by our agency in the County of Monterey. The monitoring efforts are going to be ongoing. The fire is not out. It is still burning.
Lifted, and if anything changes,
I'm gonna
of course, we'll
fast
get that
forward it really
information to
fast.
you. In Salinas, I'm Brooke Kennebrew, Dan and Aaron, back to you in the studio.
All
All
right.
right, Brooke, thank you.
Action News 8 reporter Felix Cortez
there's like
on
an
scene
hour
when that fire
ago,
came through the
actually.
roof, when it began live on the air yesterday. A
This
moment
guy,
that I think
this
we'll
guy.
all
This
remember.
is the guy we're
Well,
talking
remember,
about.
Felix also there when it flared up
That
earlier
guy.
today. So, Felix, what's the situation now?
Might as well be.
Well, the situation is I can probably, like Brooke, report some good
He's
news
probably
at this
really
time,
hungover this
at
today.
least regarding the situation of this fire.
You might as well, like I
We've got
said,
my
just
camera
put his
guy,
hand
Tom
over his
Lopez,
nose
zoom
and be
in
like,
just behind me.
Right.
But
it's
here's the
not much of a
extent of the
difference.
plume of smoke, not as drastic as last night.
Yeah.
And then as he zooms in,
Ooh, that's
you can
dangerous
see a
to be
little
next to that.
flaring there.
Oh, he was a lot
I'm
closer
sure there's some burning
last
going
night
on
to
there.
that.
Not, of course, as
He's
dramatic
gonna get
as
some health
yesterday
insurance.
when we
Right?
saw these
I'm sure he does.
flames really ripping through that
On the
roof.
job
And
hazard.
today, the damage,
Mhm.
Why did
as
you leave your
we've seen
job?
over and
I got
over
cancer.
It's
in
an
the air
occupational
and the
hazard.
ground is extensive. That whole roof is gone. This steel and concrete structure
deep
is
undercover.
gutted.
Yeah,
All those
because he was talking
batteries
about, I
in
said, with
there
a cop haircut.
burn
Yeah, that dude. You're like,
and
he is a
continue
cop.
to burn at this time, but not at the extent that we saw
So
last
deep.
night, and clearly not at the extent that we saw this afternoon.
Did you
Shortly, about an hour
feel?
shortly after a news conference was held, saying this fire was all but
Mhm.
out, and
Do
then
you hear the
again
seals
it
in the
flared up.
background?
And what I was seeing this
Yeah, I heard
afternoon was much
something.
worse
Yeah, listen.
than I was seeing last night. Now I'm hoping we have this soundbite from Glenn Church,
Yeah.
who was talking about
That sounds like
this
seals.
fire and just
Yeah, it sounded
describing
like something
this
like
fire as a
chirping or
worst
yeah,
case
yelping.
scenario. Here's what Glenn Church said earlier today.
It would
That's
not
crazy.
be a good faith gesture to turn it on without having those answers. And that is our request is at this point. And we hope Vistra will accommodate with that because we do need it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me
I
put
want to
that in
get back to this
context
guy.
because those sound bites were switched over. I wanted to go to
Lions.
something else.
Sea
But
lions.
you heard Glenn Church and the spokesperson for Vistra
Those
addressing
are like in La
an
Jolla.
There is sea
issue
lions.
that Supervisor
hear it?
Glenn Church brought up later in the
There's sea lions in
afternoon
La
after that
Jolla
first
too.
press
Yeah.
conference. They held
That's
another
cool.
press conference after
means
this
that they're really
fire
close to
flared
the
up
beach.
again. And at that time, Supervisor Glenn Church was
channel, yeah, right
joined
there.
by Dawn Addis, State
KSW
Assemblywoman,
channel?
in which they were asking that
Okay.
Vistra not put this facility back online until we have some answers as to
Wait, can they actually put the facility back online after all this batteries burned down?
I think maybe the surrounding part, but that building, maybe that was like for a specific function, but
Oh,
everything
yeah.
else in that grid or power plant or chemical plant probably had different functions. So those can
True.
probably be going, but that part where the fire was, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know, they can't resume, functioning facilities or
Yeah,
whatever.
I know. So there are some photos
Mm-hmm.
from this morning. Here, I'll share this. So these are some photos from this morning. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's where it before, like, what's going on in here? So before it was kind of like exploded with fire. So this is from this morning. Oh, these tags are historical. They deemed as a historical value, so they've been deactivated since the 90s.
Oh wow. Okay,
Mm.
so that's probably why they're able to continue
so-
operations somewhere else. I don't know.
These are the batteries, like on the side of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so this was this morning. And that's another thing, like they don't particularly, it's this brush might catch on fire, but they don't particularly worried about like really getting spread because it's a lot of marsh around that area. But still, it's pretty big. Okay, so I found this video. It's a flare up one. We don't have to watch the whole 40 minutes,
right
people.
now, Lauren, as we are on scene, is that this just highlights the unpredictability of this fire that started yesterday just after 3
It
o'clock.
was
And
burning.
2 hours after a press
Yeah,
conference
that's crazy.
with the county and
I'm gonna
local leaders and
see
also
wind, not
officials from
windy yet,
Vistra
but air
outlining
now.
the status of the fire, that it was pretty, for the most part,
That
pretty much
definitely
out.
damaged the ozone.
We're driving by, headed to Moss
Yeah,
Landing. This is
yeah,
what we came
I
across.
would say so.
And look at that. Flames just billowing from this rooftop of the Vistra Energy facility over
Whoa,
here at Moss
Yeah,
Landing,
that's
sending a huge
nuts.
that's
plume of
intense.
gray, possibly very toxic smoke into the air.
Mm,
And
God.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. This is
I don't know
This
what
dude,
happened.
that's why I say the
he needs to go
unpredictability of
get
this
his lungs
fire.
checked after
Because
this.
as we were
Yeah.
reporting yesterday at 5 o'clock, this
Wow.
fire was all but out. And then it flared up again around 5:15 and then turned into an infernal kind of what, like
You see,
we're
where I
seeing right
live,
here.
like when there's bad
And Lauren, I have
storms,
to be
and it's
honest,
like
what
in the
I'm
middle of the
seeing
night when people
now
usually aren't
compared
out.
to what I
I've been
saw
out in the
last
streets
night,
before,
Uh-huh.
this
and
looks more
chemical
extreme.
plants,
This is
they
clearly,
burn their chemicals in the middle of the night where it looks almost like that. Terrible. Like it's like almost like
That's
toxic dump off.
yeah, that's toxic right here. This whole thing is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see.
I think, a bigger fire than what we're reporting on.
Why
Look at
1,200 people
this.
in the surrounding area,
Look
around
at the
Moss
black
Landing and the
smoke.
surrounding communities
Oh my
are
gosh.
under
And did they
evacuation,
say that was
mandatory
there
evacuation
explosions or it was
orders
just a
because of that.
fire?
There was they said they were okay. So the press conference this morning stated that they responded to a small smoke coming from the building, like very small
Mm-hmm.
smoke. And once the firefighters arrived at the scene, even the hazmat guys didn't even arrive at the scene. So once they arrive at the scene, they start seeing a lot more smoke. And as soon as they're trying to enter the building, it broke out into fire. So once those batteries breaks out into fire, the protocols are they have to stand back and they can't because they don't know exactly which batteries are on fire, or it's going to take a lot of foam, and the foam is extremely expensive. And then so they finally got the hazmat guys out there, and then they were just monitoring it. So they're just like kind of mitigating what's happening around the area, make sure it doesn't spread anywhere else, like doesn't go into the bushes or anything. But yeah, that's all they can do is just to let it burn. Burn, baby, burn, burn,
Yeah.
baby, burn.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that foam is very expensive. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a special consistency and chemical that to like
Yeah.
blanket the fire.
This is what I wanted to see. This is from like the other side of the bay, like where we're kind of like closer to the Monterey area. You can
Mhm.
actually see the stacks from certain areas.
Well,
Mhm.
and
See all
just trying
that
to figure out,
smoke?
what's going on there at Moss Landing this afternoon as
Disco
we thought we
Inferno.
were headed toward, the
Burn,
resolution
baby,
of
burn.
this. But the main issue, is the air, is the toxins in the air. That's why the EPA is in town. That's why they're doing the tests.
Yes,
That's why
yes,
people are asking,
finally,
or the
EPA's in
county
town.
is urging people to remain indoors and keep windows and doors shut, is because of the
Wow.
toxicity that's in
Wow.
the air because of these, these
I
batteries
used
that are
to
on
drive
fire.
by this all
Toxic
the
smoke,
time.
the real
I used to live in
concern. Could be
Monterey.
spewing
Oh
heavy
yeah, so
metals and
that's why
toxins into the air.
it blows your
And
mind
during
to
our
see this.
broadcast Thursday
Mhm.
evening, we spoke with an immunologist and allergy specialist, Dr. Stephen Prager with Salinas Valley Health, about the possible health hazards with a fire like this.
We have two things to deal with here. One is just the regular smoke from the fire, and that's going to irritate anyone's nose and lungs. But here we're dealing with a chemical fire. I don't really know exactly what's in the air, and I'm not sure anyone else does. And these chemical fires at low.
I don't really know exactly what's in the air. I'm sure nobody else does. Lithium-ion batteries on fire. I think I'm pretty sure. I think the hazmat guys are pretty sure and pretty aware what's getting dumped into this air.
Yeah, once that flammable combustion happens with those things,
Yeah, I think we're pretty sure. Okay, I don't think I
it
want to
doesn't.
listen to this guy anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't take a rocket. I mean, Elon Musk is not even a scientist, but he can even, I don't know. Anybody can tell you The guy at
Right?
Walgreens can tell you, hey, this is not good to breathe. Like,
And this
oh,
is the asthma and immunology guy.
oh my
Like,
gosh. Yeah, he's helpless.
yeah.
That second area of smoke there on the left-hand side of your screen
Let's
certainly
see
looks
what these
like
guys
a
are
separate fire.
saying.
Supervisor Glenn Church,
No, I'm
if we
sure he's
can, who
smart.
represents this
Yeah.
part of Monterey County. He had some very strong words this morning about what.
Oh yeah, after this, I got some stuff that I want to talk about Ukraine, and then some new things that's been coming out from there too, so we can like change the topic from that.
Okay.
What's going on at the power plant.
You know, there must be accountability for this, and there will be accountability.
Yeah, so you're hearing from Supervisor Glenn Church. There must be accountability for this. There will be accountability. Look, we want to give you some
That's all they
background
said.
here
There must be
on
accountability
Vistra
for this.
Energy.
There will be accountability.
They're a Texas-based company. It specializes in retail electricity, which refers to the sale of electricity to home and businesses and
Texas,
power
of course.
generation.
Of course.
Company says they
California and
are one of
Texas
the
right here.
largest competitive electricity
What's up from
providers
Texas?
in the U.S. and had just finished the third phase of an expansion to boost California's electric grid in 2020, 50 feet
Okay.
up into the air.
Oh,
And then North
wow.
Monterey County Fire Chief Joel Mendoza saying that the built-in fire suppression systems that initially they worked as expected. That's why the fire was extinguished relatively quickly, but then just overpowered.
So, like,
and
what they said, the EPA showed
that's
up
what we saw
finally.
yesterday
Yeah.
as a result,
Yeah, finally they showed up.
making it unable for them to get in there
So-
and stop the fire.
All right, so
Chief Mendoza
let's just mute this and have it like played in the
reporting
background for
at
a
that
little
news
bit.
conference this.
So but anyways, and the EPA finally showed up, right? Which they should have been out there with all the detectors and everything, like way beforehand. So there, a lot of the detectors or the air quality control, they didn't particularly like found anything within air, because what they looking for is very, very dense, heavy smoke from the wood and everything, because the way they built. So for this kind of chemicals, you have to have a specialized equipment, right? And that specialized equipment, they weren't able to get it until like later on today to actually test the air quality. And that specialized equipment actually came from EPA, that they had to like get it, find it somewhere, bring it over, start testing the air, and then we'll see what's going to happen.
You know, I mean, part of me wonders though. I don't know if I'm like, if it's too far fetched to think that they weren't readily available in the Bay Area, because everything that's going on in Los Angeles too. Because I'm sure they're testing the air out there with all these households that were.
No, it's the resources are stretched. The resources are stretched thin right now, and it's like I'm surprised that we actually had hazmat guys who were able to come out there and be like, "Yay, we actually have a job."
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
it's like
You
maybe
don't
that might be cushy to them compared to working in Los Angeles right now. I mean, but it's terrible in all senses of the way or matter. But yeah, that's
they're like, we can handle this.
just give me the proper mask. But yeah, no, it sucks for the people that had to evacuate. What the heck, us too?
Okay, so right now I'm looking at air now, and it says about AQI is about 57, which is on a good AQI is 30 for the good ozone layer to breathe. So they're about at 57. So it's in yellow. It's not like there's yellow, amber, and there's purple. There's like yellow, amber, red, and purple. Purple is like, yeah, you might not want to be in that area at all. So in reality, like you don't particularly know, but still, it's like I wouldn't want to be around that area anyways. It's toxic. It's toxic.
Yeah.
Where's the furry hazmat guy? Hazy.
I know. I heard you
Hey,
saying
come
hazmat.
here.
I was like, where's hazmat?
Hazmat, come here. We're talking about you. Come. He's like, I'm laying in my comfortable bed, Mom. I do have my furry other one right over here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
So my furry.
So yeah.
There she is.
See, hey, baby girl.
That's Pocket. That is Pocket. But yeah, so the Tesla. Hey, whoa! For state news and weather, what's up? What's up? If you want, you can join the family as well. We just kind of chit chatting away, just doing the final updates and everything. Because it just ignited. Because he was on a panel yesterday, just kind of chit chatting away. It was pretty fun.
Cool.
And he's got a channel. What he does, he goes out to different like accidents or different not crime scenes, but yeah, pretty much like DUIs or just car accidents, fire accidents, and takes photographs. Like he's the action photographer, which is so cool. So, and he's got the YouTube channel as well. Like he's got YouTube channel. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitch. No, I don't know if he's on Twitch. Twitter. He's on Twitter, and he's got like over 30,000 followers over there. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, so he's like almost like a night crawler, but maybe just not necessarily at nighttime, just out there on the scene, huh?
Yeah. He's just out there in the scene. He's been waiting for calls. Definitely join if I could. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Anytime you jump in here, if we have a panel, and then sometimes I just have like a really open panel, and you never know what's gonna get into. We had some fun here before, right?
I know there's been some times where we didn't have a topic at all. We had fun.
Yeah, we're just like, you know what? Let's see what's going on in the world. Let's see what we can get into.
So the 4-state news says TikTok, Facebook, IG, YouTube. Pretty much what you were saying, huh, Anime?
Yeah. So he's got, and it's really good following. Like I got to check out like all his socials yesterday. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. It's pretty cool community over there. It's good to hang out. Yeah, he thought he was gonna help, but it was a bust.
Oh dang, bummer.
Hey, let's check out his YouTube page.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and then so I'm trying to get him back on a show here, so to actually like talk about what he does and like stuff that he's seen. It's pretty interesting.
And shameless plug, if it can, Bernadette and I have a channel, Cultural Call Out, that we've just started, and so if you want to check that out, just type that in YouTube, search it up, and you'll find it. Give us a sub, and we'll sub. I'm gonna sub to 4-state news and weather.
Here, I'm gonna put his channel into the chat really fast.
Nice.
If you not sub to him, we're building a community here. You say what channel you guys started? What is the name of it?
Called Cultural Call Out. I'm gonna sub to 4-state.
Wait, are you're a mod, right? In the chat? Can you dump it in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me plug that too. But yeah, I just subbed to
we're cool here. We're straight frosty.
We're straight frosty. Oh dang.
I love it.
It's almost
See,
like a
there's two Xanas right there.
Oh,
it's trippy.
Tripping out over here, huh? Yeah, here's this channel. That's my channel. What I'm starting with Bernadette. We're trying to I was trying to set up a format and everything. I'm not trying to use StreamYard all the time. I'm trying to set it up with OBS, and that's throwing me off a little bit. And when I want to go live in a pinch, Bernadette used to StreamYard, so I'm like, okay, let's just go live then with that.
Nice.
And now, huh?
I said nice.
So yeah, and thanks 4-state news and weather. I followed you too.
Okay, you got a sub right here. So welcome to Cultural Call Out. We discuss current events and call out what deem fit. So join us as we tackle topics and make it fun. Hey, if you guys ever need, another person to join the panel or something, I'm more than happy to come and hang.
Yeah, no, we're open with that. Yeah, we're open to all that. We did that too. Brandon, do you ever karaoke the song Bernadette? I know that song, and Bernadette does. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" Everybody brings up that song to me. So no, I haven't because it's kind of cliched to her.
Oh, dang. Vehicle
Yeah.
into power pole and pose on top of vehicle. Gotta go. Have
Oh
fun.
wow.
Have fun, man. Post up the videos and pictures. Here, I'm gonna pull up his channel. It's pretty neat.
Oh yeah. No, it sounds
It's
interesting.
yeah, it's something, it's something different. I haven't particularly seen like something like this before. All right, so he's got chicken hauler flips and overturns. Arrested assault.
Mm.
I love it. And he actually like goes out there on the scenes and do videos and photographs it, and yeah. I love it.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's a lot of dedication right there, though. Too. It's like you got to put yourself in those scenarios and see things you don't know what you're gonna walk into.
I know.
But
Let's see
kudos to
this one.
him. Props to him, man.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like late at night. Woo.
That's why I said like he's like a night crawler or something. Like those guys that go and get those little forensic scenes at nighttime and do the same thing, like document them with the camera
He's
for
got a nice
news.
camera too.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It works good in low light. I can say that.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Yeah. Gets to be insane. I always go in knowing and expecting the worst. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I got something. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? There you go.
Okay.
Oh my God, Hazzy.
Pocket, huh?
Of course, Hazzy's gonna be. So these are my lights.
Oh, your lights in the
I think
background.
there's something going on in the background, you guys. Wait.
Yeah, I had recently got some of these lights, the monster ones that have the smart lighting, where they have different scenes. Hold
Wait,
on, let's see. Let me turn off my
no,
background.
I think. Oh no! Oh no! My whole house is lighting up now.
You got it all going right now.
Yeah, people are like probably wondering how it sounds. Like, what? Is it like a disco?
Yeah, this one has some stuff too. It's got different things, but you can't really tell because they're like, yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna mess with my lighting too much. I have to still work on it because I'm learning as we go with our channel with the lighting. I like your lighting though. Your setup though, it's pretty cool.
Thanks. It's it's like I can control.
I noticed you made some changes since you took your little hiatus for a moment.
I did. I got just kind of like a new camera angle setup, like this one. Like I really like this angle, so I can actually make, I can like make a video or something and have talk, because I always talk with my hands, and I feel like this is perfect angle to talk with my hands.
Yeah. Like, yeah, no, you do a standalone, you can cut to that other angle too and make it more dynamic or something. You just gotta learn to look at the camera whenever you're doing that. You're like, oh.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's I got like, I'm trying to go away from StreamYard, because StreamYard is kind of I don't know, they're getting like really, really expensive. Wait, they're getting really, really expensive. StreamYard, come on, $800 a year? Seriously.
That's why I'm trying to force myself to learn OBS and all the ways to do it there because it seems cheaper. And then you could just buy Zoom, I guess, and have it linked up to your OBS. And that's like $14 a month.
Isn't it what Andy uses it? Like he uses Zoom.
He uses Zoom. Yeah, he uses Zoom. And so I've seen a couple of things, and I'm just like learning a little bit behind the scenes too. And I'm like, okay, cool. So this is how, and it makes sense why he does what he does. But also like learning with Lewis too, it makes sense he does what he does, and Steph, too. Y'all. I'm learning from all you guys.
It's tagged. Yeah, it's like you gotta learn from each other. So at the very beginning, very very beginning, I was like really nervous in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I know sometimes like you couldn't even tell, but I was really nervous. Like I was really nervous to talk, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm struggling. Like hold on a second, hold on a second. Like I'm just getting this. It's cringe. It's cringe to watch my earlier videos. And but now because I'm so used to being in front of the camera, now it's just like, whatever. What do you
No,
need?
it's like, yeah, I understand that too. I mean, it's not like I'm more like behind the scenes kind of person, but whenever I, talk with you guys and everything, I talk to y'all guys, not all the time, but I talk to you here a couple times throughout the month. You're like, hey, what's
Mm-hmm.
up? How's it going? Things like that. So I don't feel uncomfortable talking to you, but yeah, sometimes when you're like in other places and on camera, you do have to like change your persona and get used to like oh, I'm around strangers but I know them, so I don't know, it's very weird, but you have a good nice community, all your mods seem super chill.
We have a pretty fun community over here. And man, the chat was going yesterday though. It was pretty neat. I wasn't able to catch up with some of the questions either. I was like, oh, now I get it. Now I get like why some of the questions are not getting answered. I was like, because it's a bit overwhelming.
Did you
But
put like a slow mode on?
no, I didn't. But it wasn't to that point. It wasn't to the point of the slow mode. But it
Oh,
was
okay.
it was it was a good steady chat. I was still like able to kind of carry on a conversation with everybody, but it wasn't like in a really like extremely overwhelming. I was able to handle it. We chill like a pill, y'all.
Yeah. So with this thing going on in Moss Landing, do you think it's gonna continue on for next couple of days?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think since the evacuation orders are lifted, it's pretty much they're saying that the batteries are got pretty burned up around that area. So right now it's just kind of waiting it out. It's waiting game and stuff. Oh, sunflower right here. It's really hard to see her, but
Oh yeah, I see her back there moving around.
yeah, she's a. There you
What's up, big girl?
go. She thinks she's little. Look at her curling in that little bed.
Trying to be Miss Petite over here.
Right, she's little Miss Petite. Okay, so I wanted to. Oh, shoots! The camera is facing the other direction. Guess that's my game room. That's my playroom, right? So we'll call it the playroom
Nice little
slash
corner you have
studio.
to yourself.
Yeah, and then I got my little corner right here.
Nice.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I didn't particularly like do a lot of changes, and then the lights are still the same. It's all about like the settings. It's all about like kind of playing around with the lights and playing around and like with the sounds. I have this boom for a good year now.
Mm-hmm.
So the boom's been fantastic because that way I can just like get it out of the way really fast if I
Yeah.
needed to, or if I wanted to, I can come closer like right
Yeah.
over here and then do some ASMR, right?
Yeah, and you have the XLR cable at the end, so you're plugged into a soundboard, right? With the
Yeah,
XLR
yeah.
for your mic. Yeah.
So and then I have this Behringer soundboard right here.
Mm-hmm. No, okay.
So
Yeah, you connect into your computer.
yeah, and I'm able to like hook up like 4 different mics if I wanted to have if I wanted to have like an interview or something and or
Mm-hmm.
little podcast. So what I've been really doing. Oh hey, all them prow. All right,
Oh, I
so
waved. They're listening and driving. I waved. Sorry, but audibly, I'm waving too. So an
that's
audible wave.
that's funny. So what I've been really doing is I've been concentrating on like really boosting up my LinkedIn profile because I want Anastasia and Zanime, kind of merge eventually. I want like my emergency management realm and hazmat realm and all the education realm merge with fun everything, doing everything's anime. So my personalities just kind of becomes one. And so that's why I've been boosting up my LinkedIn profile, just kind of messing around with some settings here and there. It takes work, it takes work. It takes also got some I got quite a few people that are on the list for me to get interviews from. Pretty high end people, as in retired fire chief of state of California. I escorted an interview.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I'll be able to talk to him about the certain fire, well, the fires in the lane, everything too. So yeah, it's really neat. So this is the kind of direction that I really want to go to, and I think everybody else is ready to take that step because I've been kind of this past year, I don't know, like maybe streaming, maybe not, maybe I don't know, playing around, but
But I mean, you got to put it out there, and that's what you're doing. So I'm glad for you. It's good to hear you scoring some interviews because then all it does is, you open the door after that one, then you can get a lot more afterwards too. So, it can be like, oh, say like, hey, you get somebody that, really holds their weight or, holds water.
mm-hmm.
And then like, oh, well, she's interviewed them. So why not give her a shot? We'll do an interview too. And then it just keeps on going from there.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Hey, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to split this live into two different videos.
oh,
I
sorry.
think no, it's okay because we're like going off the topic. I kind of want the algorithm to pick up and everything. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put on like I don't know, some video for us to watch, and then I'll create another live, and then we'll just hop off of this one and then scoot on over there. Or no, or actually, you know what? You stay here. Yeah, everybody stays here. Everybody stay here. I'm just gonna split it into two.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do like a little intro and stuff, and so that way I know where the point is at. Okay,
Okay, let's make it
so
recap it.
yeah. Okay, so anyways, everybody at the Moss Landing over there, stay safe. We love you. Your friendly neighborhood emergency manager here. Peace and love, and stay amazing. Bye. And we're back.
Welcome back, y'all.
Oh, thank you. Yay. So that way I can split this video into two because this is like my intro, and then I can be like, oh, the outro, and then the intro. Hi, yay, welcome everybody. This is a new live stream. It's still under the same name, but it's gonna get split into two, so no worries.
No worries, we got you right here.
Yeah, we
Welcome
got you.
back.
Stick around here. So this is no longer a live update for Moss Landing.
I mean, yeah, prayers to the people out there, but yeah, uh, I'm sure they would want to enjoy their Friday night too. So we'll do it in their memory, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
For them.
So Friday night shenanigans
In their honor.
in their honor.
That TF said that was a loud wave, Brandon. Oh, I'm sorry. Wave quietly.
Right. Wave quietly. All right, so ow, my ear. Ow. I don't know. I keep saying like I need to I can't I guess I can't edit while I'm on live stream and
I see Friday night shenanigans now on the top and StreamYard.
Oh, sweet. All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
it changed in here in StreamYard. So
Okay, awesome. I don't know if it changed on. It's all right. They can stick around under Moss Landing Fire Reignites now twice the size title. I'm sure they'll be fine. That was a loud wave, Brendan.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it quietly now,
Yeah.
barely.
Ow.
So what other things have caught your eye, like in the news? Like, I mean, there's the fires, there's
Yeah.
politics,
So
pop culture crap.
Ukraine. You heard about the North. Hold on a second. Something's going on with my ear. Ow. I don't know what it is. It's like got strained or something. Sorry.
It's all
Ow.
right.
I got an ear cramp.
An ear cramp, huh? That's new.
I got an ear cramp. Owie. Okay. Ow. I don't know. Maybe it's the headphones. Maybe it's the headphones cutting off
Could be.
circulation to my ears. Ow, ear cramp. Have you ever had an ear cramp before?
I've had an earache,
No,
but that's
this
about
is
it.
like a cramp.
Yeah, I don't
I'm,
know.
I'm fixing
I
my
mean,
ear cramp.
there's been things where I've had before, and they're like, "Yeah, that's definitely terrible what you felt." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was normal." So I don't know.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, you have pneumonia," and I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was just a cold."
Oh, just
Things like
pneumonia.
so. Yeah.
Okay. So there's Ukraine news, right?
Hmm.
So there has been North Korean soldiers, right, fighting in Ukraine, and have you heard about that?
Yes.
Yeah. So North Korean soldiers, they landed in Russia, and then now they're actually fighting in Ukraine. There's couple of them got captured by Ukrainians, and they were just like they were interrogating them, asking them questions and stuff. So come to find out, they didn't even know that they were going to war. They thought it was just a training exercise. They didn't
Oh,
even know what country they were in. Yeah,
wow.
well, because they're so sheltered. There's only propaganda TV. There's no like outside world communication.
Hmm.
Sorry, Pocket wanted to come on my lap.
Hmm.
So there's like no outside communication. There's nothing like that, and yeah. So they say we were there to thinking that we're on a training exercise. So like they didn't even know that they were going to fight. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just they just walk into it blindly, like,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, they have like it's just like state funded propaganda that get fed. So I
Well, it's the same
I
thing
would
as they did propaganda in Russia as well.
yeah, but like far from how far is North Korea from Ukraine and Russia, or wherever they were at?
Well, Russia shares a border with North Korea. They're sharing like a closer to a coastal border on the other side
A
on the
peninsula or
east
something like
side on
that?
the east side. Hi, Justice. Okay, so let me show you a map.
I thought it was like a peninsula that separated things.
Yeah, it's kind of
And I just saw the
complicated, I
South Korean
guess.
president got arrested too. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that. He got
Yeah.
arrested? What?
It's crazy what's going on in different places.
Okay, map. Come on, map. Give me map of Russia.
I
Google.
mean, I keep up a lot of headlines and like from pop culture to other news too, just by, helping out with other channels. But there's not often chance where I get to talk about that kind of stuff, those news headlines.
I know, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so Russia, right? So obviously Russia has 7 time zones, right? This is the it's not the largest country in the world, but it's the longest country in the world because it has 7 time zones. So in
Mhm.
this area, right? I'm gonna find so Japan, there's North Korea, right? So South
Mhm.
Korea, North Korea. And then there's this tiny, tiny area right here that they share a border with Russia.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this is Russia, right? This is Russia. and this is China, and there's this tiny, tiny area. And Vladivostok, which is like right here, is one of the largest military ports.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure the North Korean soldiers came from here. They got on a ship and then came to Vladivostok. Or, well, it's you can drive in here. There's a highway. There's this
Mm-hmm.
highway, or they could
Great.
have, yeah, it's either by ship or they could have just driven over here, to here. But ship makes a lot more sense, right? Because there's a big port. Not big, but there's like a decent port over here for a military port, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the North Korean one, right? So I'm
Okay.
sure they came from here, went to Vladivostok, right here, right? And then they send them up this
How-
way.
Seeing the geography of everything, now I understand why they're so, like, they're allies. Like, they're considered allies to America, China, North Korea, and Russia.
Yeah,
They're
so
all right there.
they came
Like,
all the way from here, North Korea, and Ukraine is all the way over here.
that's crazy to put that. Wow.
So that means that they cut a train. There's a Trans-Siberian. There's like a one large train track that goes from here to like all the way across Russia. So they probably put them on Trans-Siberian, and then they arrived there by train for like 4 days to travel by train or so, 4 to 6 days.
Wow. Yeah, no, Russia, it's such a mass terrain that they have.
Well,
So yeah, and it's crazy to think that that's like one continent that's and you're from the other side, you're from where you were pointing at.
right here. I'm from
Yeah.
Odessa. I'm
And
from
then that's
here.
crazy how North Koreans ended up in Ukraine.
Right?
Like, and they had no idea. They were just think they were going on a free ride for training.
Mm-hmm. So they came from all the way from here, this direction, and like all the way across, and then landed right outside of Ukraine. So they were like in like around here, or no, Belgorod. They were like right over here, and then they send them to Ukraine. It's crazy. So this is some geography for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, because that's like almost like from it's from Asia to like the Eastern Bloc almost, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's here too for sizing comparison.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like going from Florida to Alaska, like Miami to Alaska or something.
I guess yeah. If you flip it the other way, right? Or
Yeah.
going from like Cuba all the way to Alaska.
Yeah, that's like because Lewis is Cuban, sending Lewis from Cuba to Alaska. That dude doesn't even like flying on airplanes. He wouldn't last.
Well, he can catch a train.
Yeah. The Trans-Siberian train, huh?
Right? Trans-Alaskan train.
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I didn't know that was a whole train.
No,
Have you ever
there's
heard of
yeah. I heard the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So
I used to work on their tour.
also another thing. So yesterday I was listening to NATO summit, and they were talking about Finland and Sweden and Norway. There have been Russian ships got caught meddling with the cables that are laying in Baltic Sea. Those cables are one of the largest internet providers, and then they trying to disrupt the communications. And so this is North Sea, and you see Sweden, Finland right here, because Finland is sharing borders with Russia too. This is the border. This is the Finnish border. Yeah, so Russia sharing the borders with 7 different countries.
That's kind of dangerous.
So that's another thing is so Ukraine, right? And why Ukraine and why a lot of the European allies are trying to help Ukraine out? Because so Finland, they're sharing a border right here, and there's a large military base on both sides, and so this part used to belong to Russia like a long time ago, right? And Norway is sharing a border with Russia as well. Yeah, Norway. This is Norway, right? So Finland. This is Norway, all the way up to the top, and there's like right over here at the very top where they share a border with Russia. So Sweden, part of it, like this whole chunk used to belong to Russia long time ago. So that's another thing they're worried that Russians will start going and reclaiming their territories.
So it's like pretty much, was that what the USSR was trying to do that?
Yeah, USSR encompassed a lot of the countries like here, some Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Romania. Poland did not become part of USSR, so like this USSR map is huge. But it's all about all about like borders and everything. Where's the Baltic? So Baltic Sea.
Yeah,
Right.
I've always heard Baltic Sea. Yeah.
Yeah, so Baltic Sea. There is some of the main communication lines from Finland to Poland to Germany, like they're laying under the sea level on the seabed, right? And there have been Russian ships got caught meddling with those cables, and they had to come up with a summit or like actually meeting to see how they're able to deal with it, because they particularly can't, because there are still some waters that are shared, and then they can't specifically arrest them. They have to like bring them in to their territory. Like they have to go to the ship and then like bring the ship to the territory to make an official arrest. Yeah, so the Russian ships got spotted in the Baltic Sea.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. And another thing, another interesting fact, there's a piece of Russia right here.
No wonder there's so much things about Russia doing espionage, because they have all these little
Right?
things. Right?
Oh, and then they were talking about, opting like people, and there are people like others really scared for their lives because there were some attempts happened by Russian officials on their lives and everything. It was nuts. It was nuts to listen to that conference. But so this is Russia, right? This little piece right here in the middle of Lithuania and Poland.
Oh wow.
And they're so cut off from here because Russia is not allowed to utilize this airspace.
I remember in the 90s, well, before, I mean, I was a little kid, but then in the 80s, like there was some stuff going on with Lithuania. Like there's some kind of conflict out there. I'm sure there's always a conflict on that.
There's always a conflict. So in the 90s, that's when the communism fell apart.
Yeah, that's probably why there was that conflict for that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Russia is huge. People don't like particularly realize how, I don't know, how influential it really can be.
Yeah, I mean, like I like UFC, and there's like these UFC fighters from Dagestan, and it's like almost like there's like a Muslim area of Russia, and that's where they're from, in Dagestan, and I guess I don't know if it's close to Chechnya and things like areas like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's where Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, all of the stands. Oh, I was here. I was in Afghanistan before.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that once before. Wow.
And I was here I was in Iraq. I was in Kuwait. Like I actually landed my feet here, and I've been to Tajikistan. Man, I've been all over the place. Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you never thought you'd be in those areas, but when you were little, but it's amazing.
No,
But
no.
it's rough too.
Djibouti. You want to go to Djibouti? Oh, Al said more cooking lives. I haven't done that in the years.
I think
Man,
I remember when I first started watching around. Yeah, I think you did. It was.
I used to love those cooking lives.
And have you done some standalones about that though too?
Not videos. Not.
Oh no.
I did like a short form videos. You know, the shorts and everything, but
Mhm.
not actually standalone videos. But anyways, so yeah, so North
Yeah.
Korean soldiers, they arrived in Ukraine not even knowing that they're in Ukraine, and then they're fighting. And some of the North Koreans saying like, "Yeah, I would like to stay in Ukraine."
Oh, they want to. They don't want to
Yeah,
go back to. Wow.
yeah, they wanted to stay. They let me see if I can find the video.
I mean, I can't imagine even what they eat out there though. Too. Speaking of cooking, like what is their food out there? You know, if they go to Ukraine, they eat maybe something from the locals, the village. You know, the people out there.
In Ukraine?
Yeah, I'm saying the North Koreans, they might eat foods from the locals in Ukraine and be like, "Oh, this blows my mind. I don't
Yeah,
want to
like
go back
what?
to North
Like what
Korea."
is this? Like what is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this video is by NBC News. So hopefully we don't get kicked off. I put up that fair use banner. And
No, it made sense. I saw. I was like, "Oh, that's smart of her. Fair use right there."
yeah, because last couple live streams I got I kind of like started sharing some news videos and I got kicked off. And I was trying to dispute it, and their dispute was like their excuse I wasn't able to dispute those. I had to like cut the segment. And their excuse was I didn't have fair use in my description or posted anywhere. So I
Oh,
was like stealing the content. Now I was like fair use, fair use,
yeah.
fair use
Yeah.
everywhere.
I'm not giving you a chance to do this to me.
Right. All right. So let's see. I hope it's in. Yeah, it should be in English.
Korean soldiers Ukraine says it has captured alive. Seen in this video being questioned by Ukraine's military with help from South Korean intelligence. One telling interrogators he thought he was going to Russia for training, not war. The soldiers providing a rare glimpse into how North Korean troops are fighting with Russian forces in Kursk, where U.S. officials say they're taking heavy losses. Roy Sung-hyun was a North Korean soldier until 2019, when he ran across the demilitarized zone to freedom in South Korea.
Honestly, it's not easy to capture North Korean soldier.
Why is it not easy?
People captured this themselves. They training like that.
He says every recruit learns a song about saving their last bullet for themselves to avoid capture. Interviews with several former North Korean
Whoa.
soldiers reveal one of the world's largest standing armies lacks regular training in modern warfare.
I think I only fired 3 bullets per year. When I moved to a special force, we do had more than like 20 bullets.
Most months, they say, spent on farming and construction. For Lee Chul-yun,
Wow.
who swam
That's
6 hours to
nuts.
escape, the main enemy was hunger.
그렇죠.
Grass, potatoes, even tree bark, he says.
You ate tree bark.
There's no rule for the kind of meal served. President Zelensky now making an offer to Kim Jong-un to swap his soldiers for Ukrainian prisoners in Russia, the captives living proof, he says, of the widening war. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Seoul.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about
Oh,
breaking
did you
news
see
and
this?
top stories.
Oh yeah.
One
We
day
were,
after that
going
SpaceX
over that with
Starship
Louis.
blew up during
Yeah.
a test flight, raining debris down over the.
Wait, sorry, what's up?
Yeah, I was still watching that yesterday, like last night, about like 24 hours ago. Yeah, we were covering a little bit of that too. I was like, oh my gosh, like I just saw that that little headline, that clip right there, and I was like, "What is that?"
Right?
SpaceX.
So I was doing we were online and just trying to find like any kind of research or anything on that fire last night, and I went on like Elon Musk's because he's got Tesla batteries are actually stored like right next to that facility as well,
Mm.
and so I was like, oh, let's see if he says something, right? And we saw that video. I was like, what is that? I was like, aliens, aliens.
I know.
No, I want to watch this again. This is like really, really neat.
It kind of looks pretty.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like space dust, huh?
Boy, space dust. It's space dust.
SpaceX space dust. Yeah, it was nice though. I saw it, but I was like, oh yeah, that's not cool.
Why is it not playing?
I mean, good thing it was unmanned though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there it is. Of course, it's gonna start playing.
Caribbean, the FAA is ordering SpaceX to pause operations as the agency investigates what went wrong. Tom Costello is here. Tom, what can you tell us about this?
Well, the debris from Starship fell out of the skies and over the Turks and Caicos Islands. And while nobody on the ground was injured, there are reports of property damage in the region. With falling debris, air traffic controllers had to quickly declare a large section of airspace off limits to planes. Hundreds of flights had to detour around the area or hold on the ground, including some that had been in the air for a long time and were then short on fuel. They were forced to declare a fuel emergency to fly through that airspace at their own risk. Listen to this Iberia pilot coming in from Madrid, Spain with 238, make that 283 people on board.
We declare emergency, mayday, Brazil 379, we request proceed to San Juan.
Yeah, headed to San Juan, Puerto Rico. All planes, in fact, did land safely. Elon Musk has said that they are now looking for a cause. The FAA requiring SpaceX to conduct a mishap investigation before there's another launch attempt.
It's so pretty though.
That's what I'm saying. It's so pretty, but so dangerous. Like,
I know.
it's like, is this debris gonna fall in my house? But it's still nice,
right? Or
it's like, huh?
Or what if the debris was falling over California?
Oof. I don't think they need that. I'd just be like, oh my gosh, somebody really has it in for California, or the whole world does. Like,
I know.
poor California. I mean,
If I I might have I might be able to go down south for a job like in the next couple of weeks or so. If I go down south, I'll hit up Lewis and see if he wants to meet up and something. So it'll be
oh yeah, yeah.
I'll
I mean,
definitely-
shoot, out there though, it's with the fires and everything. I think everything's clearing up though now, huh? I mean,
yeah, right now it's a more of a recovery operations, and
Mhm.
that's why they're really shifting towards because the fire is pretty much is pretty mitigated right now, but they're shifting towards the recovery operations. They're rebuilding all the houses, and hopefully the people will return. And the fact that they put a cap on insurance companies like actually leaving, so which is really really good, right? They say that, hey, you're not allowed to leave if your people's houses are burning down at that moment. So hopefully they'll be able to rebuild. But another thing that I have hope in humanity, because I'm sometimes nice. Doesn't have to
Mhm.
be all the time, but sometimes nice.
Yeah.
And all of this like movie stars and all this like big, rich people out there, they come together, do a fundraiser, and then help the city of LA to rebuild. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, well, I think I saw. Well, I did see they're gonna have some kind of. I think it's called Fire Aid. So it's gonna be a big concert. So a bunch of musicians from Los Angeles and around, like big musical acts,
That's
are gonna
super
be
cool.
doing that. So it's like it's gonna be a Fire Aid. Like World Aid. Farm Aid. How they've done that in the past, and they had big concerts. So they're gonna do that in Los Angeles. So that'll be happening soon. And I think there's like. Right now, I saw that there was like 24 slots that are open for it. They want to expand it more, but they already have like 50 something musicians and artists and bands already auditioning. So
That's
it's gonna
nice.
be a big one. So I don't know. I mean, they said Taylor Swift and Beyonce are ruled out, but
Ruled out.
yeah, they're kind of too big, I guess. But
They wanted to have their own.
yeah, but so I mean, that's your little pop culture news for that. So I'll give you that little tidbit.
Twinkle Tits still
Still
not
not
used
used
to.
to my short hair.
Yeah. Twinkle Tits, you want to jump into Friday Night Shenanigans? Or feel
Yeah.
free. Just let me
I'll
know.
be right back. I'm gonna go to use the restroom, the powder room. I'll be right back.
Oh no, that means that I have to entertain my own audience. What's
I'll
going
have
on?
Tingle Tits come in. Join in, Tingle Tits.
I'm kidding.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. So what's interesting is I've been really keeping up with Ukrainian news and what some people were actually doing on the ground, which is fantastic. And when I came across that the whole North Korean soldiers out there like just wanted to stay back and wanted to stay in Ukraine, which is, hey, you know what? It's their opportunity. It's their opportunity to stay in Ukraine and just be there. Just be in Ukraine. Ukraine has really, really good food. So this is kind of like my new camera setup and stuff. I kind of really like it. I don't know. Yeah, 5 minutes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me copy and paste. It's an open panel too. So this live stream is we shifted from Moss Landing battery plant fire to just Friday Night Shenanigans. Just hanging out and chit chatting away and see what other stuff we can get into and what anything. Ooh, NATO under attack by Russia. Okay. Anyways, so we were talking about the cables. There's in Baltic Sea, the Russians are meddling with the cables in Baltic Sea. So the NATO had a summit yesterday. So I'm trying to find a video to actually show it to you and what was covered in a summit. It's really it's pretty interesting because this is something that people don't talk about because everybody's like, oh, they're fighting in Ukraine and Ukraine only, but not realizing that Russia actually borders Ukraine, borders 7 different countries, 7 different countries, and they have beef with most of those countries that it borders, unless they're post-Soviet countries and they have anything that's any kind of tentacles they want to extend to those countries. I'll find it when Brendan gets back here. Let's see. Oh my god. And then yeah, I'm not gonna talk politics in here because I just had a random thought just came across my mind, but it was pretty funny. Okay, NATO summit, join NATO summit about Baltic Sea. I think it's not a very long video and what they're actually talked about. Okay, so perfect. Global news is good. NATO 6 and 5 minutes. Yes, DW news. I like DW news. They are pretty fair when it comes to actual news and not getting politics involved, and so it's a Deutsch World German news. DW. We'll wait for Brendan to get back in here, and let's catch up really fast. So we have wow. That's impressive. So we have about 200 people are watching this live stream right now on multiple platforms. We're streaming on Twitch, Twitter, and I guess X and YouTube. So yeah, we have total combined it's 205. Yeah, from Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter, feel free. You can comment on Twitch as well, but feel free to come from Twitter to YouTube if you want to chat away into the chat. Okay. So I found this DW News. Oh, welcome back. By the way, welcome back.
Thanks.
So this is a DW News. They're pretty good. They're pretty fair. Like I really like their coverage. So this is their NATO to start Baltic Sea mission after cable breaches.
Okay.
Scale invasion of Ukraine, tensions have also increased around the Baltic Sea. A Russian shadow fleet of vessels has been blamed for suspected sabotage of crucial undersea communications cables. And as a result, NATO leaders from across the Baltic region have now agreed to step up security. The alliance will deploy frigates, patrol aircraft, and naval drones to help protect critical infrastructure in the area. Here's a closer look at what NATO describes as a new breed of Russian hybrid warfare and what the alliance is trying to do about it.
In freezing temperatures in the middle of the Baltic Sea, naval forces from 15 different NATO countries tested underwater surveillance drones and practiced maneuvers to
That's
defend
crazy.
critical underwater
Yeah.
infrastructure
Whoa.
against Russian attacks. Over the last few
Wait,
years, attacks on underwater
Hold on. Underwater drones to protect their cables. Whoa.
Yeah, surveillance drones. It's just crazy because I was like, yeah, we're so just, I guess, used to the new frontier of the sky, the drones in the air, aerospace.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't even think about them going in the water. And now they're doing
that's
that.
right.
They're so advanced. Like there's people that are thinking way ahead of us, but
Well,
wow.
we're not the most brightest and advanced country in the world. We used to be. This America used to be, but we're not even technology leading company.
But
Company.
that's why America is, we are open for other people coming here, like, and doing it and bringing the best that the world has to offer. It's like,
Yes.
think of it like the NBA or something like that. We're getting the best of the best. Join our
Whoa.
team.
Underwater surveillance drones.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
Well-
that's a new frontier, and it's like better than a submarine. You can surveillance, like
Yeah, it's quiet.
deploy your stuff. So it's
Well, you do know that Navy, U.S. Navy actually they use dolphins as a surveillance.
for the sonar radar or whatever.
Well, yeah,
Sonar.
so they train dolphins, they train dolphins to do like various tasks and stuff, and then
Mhm.
they like slap the cameras onto them, and so this is like the very, very first underwater drone.
Wow. I mean, yeah, we don't have to mess with dolphins anymore, I guess.
Right.
They're like,
Don't
we're
mess
free.
with dolphins.
Yeah.
Free Willy.
Oh, look, TF is leaving. Bye, TF.
Oh, bye TF. Hey, thanks for stopping by after your live. Okay, party people. Have a good night. He had a live earlier, because he does lives as in he draws, and
Mhm.
it's very, very, like, his lives are very calming. There's like a nice little music in the background, and just watching him draw, and then you chit chat away, and it's like, oh, this is a really nice escape from a crazy reality.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that sounds like a nice escape from all the stuff I watch too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes drama is too much. Not drama, but pop culture stuff and politics.
I
Oof.
know. I'm more in what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, and what's happening in that side of the world kind of
Mhm.
politics, because this is, I want to be in the know. I want to be like what's going on. So I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
really doing the deep dives. We should do like a deep dive for the reasons of the war starting and stuff. Ooh, that could be interesting.
And it's still so like clouded with not even only propaganda, but just points of view. It's like, oh, it started because of Russia, or it started because of Zelensky in Ukraine. It's like, there's so many different aspects to look at it or perspectives, but I mean, there's obviously one reason why it started, but we want to make that clear, right? Like you want to present it to everybody. Is that what you deep dive into it for?
Yeah. Okay. So, back in 2014, right? In 2014, I was attending my grad school in Monterey, and my first master's degree is in nonproliferation and terrorism studies, with a concentration of Russia-Ukrainian relations. And that was in 2014 when the Crimean War happened, like when Russia invaded Ukraine. So my major of the study for my master's program was actually Russia-Ukraine relations and what's happening in 2014, right, 2015. Hey, we got tank. Oh, look, I think we're all like pinked out and purpled out today. And
Hey, what's up, guys? Is my
Hey.
mic working?
Yeah.
Oh, how's it
So,
going?
oh, it's good. It's good. And so in 2014, I went in grad school and I studied Russia-Ukraine relations. And because I do speak 3 of the languages, right? English, Ukrainian, Russian. And that was like right when the war broke out in Crimean War, and everything's happened in Maidan, like in Kiev when there's like a siege, in Kiev, and it was crazy, crazy, crazy times where like really, really heart of Kiev almost got destroyed by the rioters, and there's barricades, there's students fighting, it was crazy. But anyways, and then ever since then, I always kept an eye what was happening, and so I feel like I could do a really good deep dive, like a live stream deep dive on kind of a bit of a history, what is between like Russia and Ukraine history, and how they came to the point where to be at like at this moment. Kind of like a drunken history in a way. We can go back all the way to like, I don't know, we can go back to like year 1000.
I mean, shoot, it sounds like it's, like you said, year 1000, centuries long, centuries of war or conflict.
Right. Well, it's basically how like we don't have to do year 1000. We can start with 5000. Okay, how about that?
Yeah. But do you think it's coming to a head now finally, or do you think it's never going to be solved?
Yes. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. The war is not going to be there forever, and Zelensky might have to give up little chunks of land, and because that's what it's looking like right now, to kind of like call it quits, call it peace, because there are over 700,000 Russian soldiers have passed away.
Yeah, that's a lot.
700.
Depleting their army.
Yeah, well, and it's male, depleting their males.
Well, and North Korean soldiers too.
Well, yeah, it's because they start depleting their army, so they start reaching out to their allies, and Chinese are not sending their troops out there. North Koreans were like, okay, whatever, right? We'll just pretend it's a training exercise for them, because that's what Russians are calling it, isn't like a training exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video of captured soldiers, and they had no idea that they're actually going to like a real war.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They're just being used as like people to make the Ukrainians and their allies use up ammo and resources and time.
Well, they call all the soldiers that they pushed to Ukraine, they call them meat bags.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like derogatory.
Yeah. It's just like it's meat. They're
Yeah.
just sending meat to deplete the resources. And that is an unfortunate thing. So there are quite few it's very, very hard to get the actual news from the ground from Russia, but there are quite few social media personalities, the YouTubers out there that actually fled Russia, and then they talk about Russia. They still have contacts over there, so they're able to get some of the information out, right? And they they're a very, very interesting bunch of people, and they let's just say that there are, because you're not allowed to protest, right? You're not allowed to protest in Russia at all because it's illegal. Even when Navalny passed away, people were just putting some flowers, random flowers in random places. They were getting arrested because if you that was the symbol of freedom and stuff, right?
So there's
Yeah,
no more
I
out
remember
there.
seeing those. I remember seeing the lines of people putting flowers and then getting arrested.
Yeah, that was at the very beginning,
Yeah.
beginning. But then at the very, like, they started dispersing all these people, and then later on they started like, okay, you cannot do this. So yeah, so they're getting arrested. And so I'm sure there's some underground stuff that's going on that we don't particularly aware of right now because, you know, it's all hush hush. And there are quite few of the mothers, group of mothers and wives got together, women, and then saying like, we demand justice because where's our men? Why didn't we hear from them? Another aspect to really think about, because when the Wagner group, they came into the prisons and said like, hey, if you serve 6 months in Ukraine, your prison sentence gets basically expunged. And those people are criminals, like straight up. They're you know they're opt people in their life, and that's why they're in behind the bars, and they're straight up criminals. So there's this one story that I came across, and it's in unnamed village. I'm not going to say which village. So this person, they graped and opt people within the village, and they got arrested, put into prison, got prosecuted for life, right? Guess what? This person went to Ukraine for 6 months. After 6 months, guess what? He came back to the same village. Damaged after the war. Right? Right
Yeah.
now might not anything happen, but this he was damaged before, but now he's even more damaged.
There's no rehabilitation or nothing there
No.
for that.
There's no mental health. Because mental health is like kind of frowned upon in Russia in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's nothing. It's nothing like that. And a lot of the soldiers that actually did pass away in Ukraine, they had families. They had families, they had mothers, they had daughters, they had sons. And now what we are 3 years in, and the kids who were, let's say, kids who were 15 years old at the time when the war started are now drafting age.
They almost sound like those kids, they're like institutionalized, almost like they're in prison already. I mean, there's no rehabilitation. They're all
Drink
institutionalized.
some whiskey.
Whether
Whiskey should fix it.
yeah,
The
but it
United
sounds like
States
they're all
is on a pretty dark
indoctrinated
path
with.
too. With our military, it's with the plans that they have. Brandon, I know when we hung out in person, I was like going on about Project 2025, but that was last year, right? All that
Yeah.
shit's actually like it's been in motion, and it's actually like really kind of happening. Like they're planning on making it so every student in public education in public schools
Mhm.
can sign up for the military. Like it's like they start the military transition. So it's kind of like, and not only that, but like they're also defunding the VA.
Mhm.
And so it's like, we're throwing all these people into circumstances where their prefrontal cortexes aren't even developed at that age, so first of all, they don't even have the decision to do it. Like I kind of feel like I heard the conspiracy theory. Okay, there's no proof about this, but there's a huge conspiracy theory out there that Trump is going to manufacture some sort of emergency just to kind of increase his power. And
California fires. California fires. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, I've
No,
heard
we're
that
getting
though,
into conspiracy realm.
but I've
Yeah.
also heard that from both sides of the aisle, though. To be fair, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of, yeah, but in terms of like the Project 2025 shit, like that's in writing.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, they want to basically draft public school children, not private school children, public school children. So it's also a class issue. So it's like they're trying to make it so they're trying to keep our population dumbed down, and then just the rich get richer. Yeah.
So there is I actually attempted to read the 900-page document for Project 2025. I started. I got like quarter in. I was just getting pissed off the whole time, right? And so there's politics aside. There is this ex-KGB agent back in the 80s. He left, he fled Russia and then like deflected to US. So he was talking about how you take down how do you take down a country, or like you don't take it down right away, you don't take it down overnight, you take it down through generations by dumbing them down.
I read about this too.
You guys want to watch the video?
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah.
said something about 20 years because it's like it takes an entire
Yeah.
generation of kids to like
Yeah.
grow up in the new
And
system.
we are in that final stage.
Yeah.
And that started back from in the 70s, actually it started. Yeah. So yeah, let you guys talk. I'm gonna find that
Oh.
video. But it's pretty
Well,
interesting.
yeah, if it was from the 70s, then we're already 40 years in now. At least
Yeah,
it's 2025. So.
The first part's the longest part, and then it just everything's like rapid fire, like
Yeah.
manufacturing
Oh,
emergencies and stuff like that.
No,
Brandon, has Bernadette moved in with you yet? What's up with that?
No, she's still in Colorado as of right now. But yeah, we're still looking into that because it takes quite a bit to move across country.
Yeah, well, I did it too. I know how it is.
Oh yeah, you still yeah, I know. Last we talked behind the scenes and everything, so I know you're still looking at different options right now too. So.
Yeah, I'm currently, and I don't mind saying this publicly, like I'm currently dealing with my dad aging. So it's kind of like maybe it's a good thing that I'm kind of stuck in SoCal right now because my dad's here. But he's showing signs of dementia, so it really sucks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I know what it's like to have a family member with dementia. My grandfather, I've dealt with that. So we're not looking in broadcast from back from the 70s. It's actually 1984. I was 1 year old.
I wasn't born yet.
Right.
I'm from 88, so yeah, I was 4 years
Love this
later.
shirt.
You guys, I'm 86.
It's a cowboy aliens, cowboy aliens.
I'm wearing NASA.
Nice, I love it. Hey,
Yeah,
we're all
I'm
spaced out.
I'm from Houston, so I live by NASA. So
How about that SpaceX, the Starship explosion? Jesus Christ!
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah, we
know.
were
We
talking
just
about
watched
it
the
earlier.
video.
Oh, you did? I was in a food coma earlier, and I'm still like kind of waking up. I put pre-workout in a Diet Coke, so I'm like trying to wake up right now.
I was gonna say a sugar rush, but it's a Diet Coke, so
Yeah.
okay. So I found the video, and it's about like 7 minutes long, but we can always pause, and talk about it and stuff too. So it's really video, really video. Oh my god, I can't even talk right now. It's a good video. It's a snippet from a longer one, and this guy actually has a lecture, a really long lecture, about like an hour and a half long. A lot of racist crap that's been spewing out of his mouth, but it was back in the 80s, and it's Russia or USSR 80s, so it's totally understandable. Not in this clip, but in the longer lecture that he gives, and then he like really breaks it down, like how to take over a country and then what the KGB standards are. So it's pretty interesting. And like I said, I have Fair Use, and this one is from the 80s, right?
Yeah, the KGB play the long game. They do psychological stuff.
Oh, they always play the long game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always play the long game.
Well, Putin's still there, so yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at him, 25 years later. He's still in charge.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Yuri Bezmenov. Warning to America. This is before you guys born.
was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow. He was the son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was and still is, I should say, the press arm or the press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures. Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization.
Brainwashing.
It takes.
Huh?
I was about to say that's what they're doing is brainwashing with their ideology, like ideology, like they're weaponizing it and they're politicizing it. You know, it's almost like a cult though too. You know, brainwashing.
Yeah. So stage 1, demoralization.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, leads up perfectly into that.
Mm-hmm.
From 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or
using wisdom as a
counterbalanced by
weapon
the
for
basic
power.
values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already.
Wait, that's from 80s. That's 1984. So they say it's basically completed already.
I mean, we're repeating history always.
Yeah, but just keep listening to the rest of the video.
Okay.
Maybe
For the last
it got deferred
25 years,
because
actually,
of the
it's
internet.
over.
What's up?
Maybe because according to his stages, I feel like the internet kind of mitigated it a little bit, and then it accelerated it. So like, you know what I mean? All right, I'll shut up.
Okay, no, you have a valid point. You do. Well, because, or maybe the internet, because when they did the research and everything, this is before the internet, maybe the internet sped up that process, right? Because now we're so interconnected, and it sped up that process where now instead of 10 to or like 15 to 20 years or so, now it's just, I don't know, a year or 4 years.
It's at our fingertips right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Everything.
think smartphones, especially, like the addictiveness of smartphones, I think kind of, well, and iPads and all that kind of stuff. The iPad generation are so susceptible. Like I had a coworker, he had 3-year-old twins. He gave them iPads. It's like these kids are just being raised with apps. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's in a way, I kind of do agree to be raised with apps as well because it advances them at the very beginning stages. Because think like I'm the analog past digital kind of future, right, person. And then I love living in like right now in the digital age and seeing the birth of AI, seeing the birth of all of this technology. But it took me a while. Well, when the computers just came out, and my very first computer I had was um, in '95, I think. Yeah, and yeah, it was like this big. Come on, I'm from Ukraine, right? We were a decade behind. So when I first got it, it took me a while to like learn it, to get into it. But now the kids look at those computers, they're like, "What's that? It's dinosaur."
Well, but people like in our generation though too, like from at least our time frame, like we act like we didn't have VHSs, VCRs, TV, like to
Yeah.
watch any movie we wanted anytime. We could just rewind it. All you had to do was rent it, I guess, or have your parents buy it. But we had Game Boys. We had all these little gaming systems. It was we had we had portable devices and things like that, and then portable DVD players too. Like I remember
Yes.
that in the early 2000s. So I mean, it's not that different. It's just more technologically advanced. But
Yeah. And the generation before then had, they had vinyls. They
yeah,
had vinyls. And then there are so many generations that are like, oh, I can't believe they're listening to those vinyls. I can't believe they're going out and dancing. I can't believe women are cutting their hair short and wearing the skimpy dresses with no bras and calling themselves flappers.
yeah.
So it's always a generational thing. It's always like, oh, the next generation, they're so radical. No, why are
Yeah.
they so radical? I actually do praise our next generation.
It's like those kids with their electric guitars. How dare they?
Yeah, how dare they? There's a classical guitar, classical music. What is this rock? Why are they growing out their hair to be this big?
How dare he be called Tinkle Tits?
Yeah, how dare they're sitting and then having like purple and blue lights in the background and try to be cool and wearing all black and listening to somebody from 1984.
Yeah. Al on the Prowl remembers asteroids, they said.
I think Armageddon is right. It's like, so like in the current atmosphere, it's like somehow less social. Like when we were younger, I sound like an old person now, but like, I was born in 86.
Welcome to the club. You're an old person.
Brandon, I know you mentioned like VHS and DVDs, but back then it was like, I felt like it was more social.
Mm-hmm.
It was
now
a group
people,
thing.
Yeah. But now everyone's so individualized and then just like swiping all the time.
Yeah.
So
Look, I do it too. Like I was just playing chess for like an hour and a half on my couch, like right before this. So-
Nice. I actually love board games. I have a big drawer of like board games, and some of my friends will get together and we actually play board games. And I'll put like a murder mystery, game, hid some stuff around my house, and we get together and drink and play murder mystery.
Yeah, I mean that's fun with family, friends, and stuff like that. But I get too competitive. But those are fun nights, though. Yes, board games are cool. It's like a good time to unwind.
The computer came
Unplug.
out and I started the investigation into unsolved murders and kidnappings. I can say the internet is great, but it needs to be limited for children and stop all the social. Yes, it does. I do agree it needs to be limited for children. I also do agree that adults need to not publicize the stuff for like children either. So I think it needs to be kind of like policed up with adults because they're still children. They're still in developing stages. Yeah.
Well, I'm at this stage now where I just don't even trust any of the social media except maybe YouTube so far is still okay. But it's
I don't trust you guys either.
Well, no, it's not. I'm talking about the people in charge of the social media, like the Zuckerbergs and the Musks of the world. Like, I don't trust them. AOC was talking about how Americans are really not prepared for the level of censorship we're about to go through. And so
Yes.
I kind of like took it to heart, and I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna doomsday prep a little bit. So I've downloaded a bunch of video games, like especially single player, because who knows if we're gonna have internet. I don't know. I also have VPNs, so I'm ready to try and like skirt the great firewall of America.
Yeah.
And I also have 150 terabytes of hard drives that are mostly filled up with movies.
Okay, so
doomsday
I'm gonna
prepping.
be a devil's advocate here, right? What if there is an EMP, Russians decided to like throw out and or they say like, oh, the satellite fell out or fell off in orbit, but it was actually EMP. Now you have all of this on digital stuff, so what are you gonna do now? Play chess?
I do have a chessboard. I have, I also got I got a ham radio system for me and my friends and my family that's within like a 5-mile range that we're on the same channel, and I'm like, in case of emergencies, if the grid goes down, we can just turn on the ham.
I've got guitars and a fishing pole, so I'm good. That's
have my
what I'm
dog.
gonna.
Yeah, I got guitars too, and my husband has fishing poles and guitars. Hey, I've actually been learning how to play bass guitar, and then
nice.
I got some kudos from my husband he's saying like, okay, this might be your instrument.
Now you're learning the rhythm, huh? You're picking up the rhythm.
Yeah,
with the
well,
drums and everything, the grooves.
no, like I know the I know the rhythm and stuff. Because I play piano, bit guitar, and then violin, right? So I've never played bass guitar, but I was like, oh, I can dig this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been kind of like picking that up lately.
No, but that's why I said that the rhythm section, because it's the bass and drums. When you find that groove with the drum set with the bass, it's cool. You're like, oh shoot, I'm in this little pocket. Sounds nice and groovy.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. We're getting off the topic.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
think that
love
was my
it.
fault
I
for
love
diverting.
it. No, I love it because you know what? This is Friday Night Shenanigans. And I have the two
Yes.
wonderful co-hosts, Brendan and Tinkletits. So thank you guys so much for hanging out over here with me.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's good to see both of you guys again.
Yeah.
Always great.
I'm getting back into streaming, and oh my god. So I said I'm gonna get back into streaming the day that LA fires broke out. So I was streaming for 6 hours, 3 different streams, but for 6 hours. Like talking about the LA fires and everything. I was like, oh, I guess combat by fire again.
That was nuts. Like I had to
No
take
pun
medication
intended.
just to fall asleep that night. Like that Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Like I had work in the office. Like I was gonna go in like with no sleep because it was nuts.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And so, but yeah, and then now I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my next live stream. And yesterday I ended up streaming for 4 hours because of this this fire, and and again in California in the battery plant. So I figured, since I'm kind of really jumped back into it, I'm gonna do a lot of this kind of shenanigans a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are more than welcome to come on the panel. I love it.
I speaking of that fire, I watched some of your coverage too, and I actually shared it with my family. I haven't been following it today, but I just Googled it and it said that they lifted the evacuation order.
Yeah, they did. Even after the explosion, not explosion, but there's secondary fire broke out, but like right next to the original fire, and the EPA came out there, and I guess they did the air quality testing. The news segment we were watching before, before they lifted evacuation orders, saying the EPA is doing air quality testing and see if we can lift it. But as soon as it was done, it got lifted. So yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't toxic, or just not enough?
It's diluted.
Okay.
Yeah. Diluted enough within acceptable limits. Right?
Yeah. Barely on. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
half the amount of cancer.
Yeah. You know how we can tolerate so much oxygen, right?
Yeah, just one little drop more of mercury, you're gonna get poisoned or something.
Yeah. It's like as reasonable as possible.
Yeah. You're barely there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just by 0.0001% off. No,
Yeah.
it's all good.
By the way, Zanime, I love
Yeah.
the freeze frame of Yuri. He looks like very memeable, like his face.
Oh my God, you're so right. And look at
He
us
looks
right
stupefied.
underneath him. You're like, oh
He-
yeah.
He reminds me of Fauci when he was just describing.
It looks like he stepped in dog shit or something.
But I remember Fauci making that kind of face whenever people were questioning him about his things, like when he was talking about the Rona, and he'd be making he'd get all like flabbergasted. He's all, "Excuse me, huh?" You know.
he's like, I know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, let's continue on.
Okay.
All right, so I do love that.
Fulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot
until he receives a kick in his fat bottom.
This guy's a very staunch old school dude, huh?
I mean, but
this
it's
guy's
very
awesome, though.
indicative that that's where America's at right now. Like,
Yeah.
people
Hey,
don't believe what's in front of their faces. It's
And
crazy.
you know what's terrible about me? The whole time I'm looking at that lamp in the background, I'm like, that's a nice lamp. Look at that.
Right.
Yeah, it has like a
Oh,
geisha
right.
on
It
it.
is. It's
very
It's
Japanese.
very. Yeah, it is a really nice lamp.
An ornate lamp. I can use some big words, but yeah, I like it.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, so he was talking about it. It got to the point of brainwashing that it doesn't matter how much you tell or show images, and unless you take this person to the concentration camps and show them the devastation, they probably still would not believe it. They'll think it's staged.
It's like they're deniers, man. It's so frustrating.
I know. Oh, hey, we got another Anastasia here. Woo.
Nice.
All right.
crashes his balls, then he will understand. But not
Crashes his
before that.
balls.
That's the tragic of the situation of
Wait, hold on
demoralization.
a second. Hold on a second. Let me
Yeah.
remind this. This
To
is
really get a man
hilarious.
to understand, you got to take him by the balls, or what?
Yeah, this is pretty
Will
good.
understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
Oh, wait. What happened?
To believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization.
When a military boot crashes his balls, then he will understand the tragic situation.
Yeah, that's a universal language right there.
I love the way he speaks. He's very
Oh,
just
yeah.
raw, blunt,
Yeah, crashes his balls.
I do
Yeah.
like how it's a little bit polite too. It's like, back then you couldn't say certain things on TV.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, very true.
The lamp brings it all together, man.
And then
Makes it
look at
very-
us. Look at us 40 years later watching this guy on What just happened?
You
My
just started
phone
playing.
my phone just started playing my own video. That was weird.
Yeah, and we're still listening to him talking about getting kicked in the bottom in the rump.
Right. I love it. Okay, let's continue.
The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize
Get fat
a
and
nation.
flab.
It's
pandemic,
what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely.
When was that period? Did I miss that period? Normalization? What's normalization period?
I think we've been in normalization since 2015.
I think it's been since 2001 after the 9/11 normalization started happening with the TSA and everything, like
the
to make
Patriot
it.
Act. The Patriot Act.
Okay. Yeah, well, then the Stafford Act came out as well after Katrina. Like as in like I think it's more of a unity, right? We had the unity, and then the 9/11 happened, and Katrina happened, so we had more of a like unity in here, right? Or do you think that after Katrina started breaking down?
No, I mean we had unity whenever 9/11 happened, but then that's when it was like almost a false flag to go into Iraq and go into the war.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I joined the military because of the 9/11.
I mean, yeah, no, a lot of my friends did too. I mean, I wasn't actually, well, in at least junior high before I was in high school when that happened on 9/11 on 2001. But then, a lot of my friends straight out of high school afterwards, so they went straight to, military for that. So yeah. I think we're
Yeah.
in that era when it happened though, so yeah. It was crazy.
So normalization. So normalization
That's
happened.
that's how we got normalized into it right there. Around that era.
Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, "Now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized." This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis.
So the schmucks.
To promise people all kind of goodies in the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with the benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist who was more Marxist than this Marxist.
Wow.
Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very pro-Soviet leftist, was assassinated by his own Marxist-Leninist military comrades. It's the same pattern everywhere.
It's the same everywhere. It's a Marxist-Leninist comrades.
And that's basically socialism though, right?
Yes, it's basically socialism, but there's a difference between like democratic socialism and socialism and
Mhm.
Marxist Leninist theories and communism. So the birth of communism and
I mean, yeah,
socialism
I've read the
came from
manifesto.
okay, so yeah, it came from Marxist theories,
Mhm.
and then it got adapted by Leninists, right? Because of the Lenin, the
Mhm.
very first communist born type person, because they're adapted the Marxist theories.
But
And
wasn't it the bourgeoisie and the proletariats? That's what they in the
um,
manu
proletariat and um,
bourgeoisie or bourgeois?
um, Bolsheviks,
Yeah.
proletariat y Bolsheviks. So Bolsheviks were the ones that go on like pro-communism, right? And
Mhm.
because it's a very, very first radical idea that they had, and then they actually gained power because people got extremely. There's a sequence of events that happened before all of this rise into power, especially where there's like um, tens of thousands people died during the stage collapsed when the Tsar Nikolai was speaking, and then they just built this like this wooden stage and collapsed, and like there's a lot of people that just died, and then they just neglected them and they just like left them. There's no, it's like it's like early 1900s, I believe. Do not quote me on that. That's more like a drunken history type deal. Um, but I do tell you when the Bolsheviks started taking over the monarchy, right? That was for thousands of years present in starting from Prussia to Russia, right? And it was like the Russian reign. And when Lenin started speaking out, they didn't have a particular plan. They wanted to like radicalize, like make new, give it to the people. So they had a really good original idea of like give the power to the people. It's like it's more of a democratic way, but give the power to the people, take care of the people, listen to the people, and then have it everything distribute equally, right? But the
Mhm.
way they went about it's like they didn't expected it to go as successful as it went. And when they did take over everything, there was like there was a period where now what? Okay, so we took over, so they didn't have a plan. They had like zero plan what to do, how to run a country, how to run the people, what to do anything, right? And they actually created more of a hostile environment, and people, anytime that somebody spoke out against the Bolsheviks or anything, they were like either deporting them or arresting them. And then that's where the kill squad got created. The men in black, wearing leather trench coats, going after the whole family if you say something wrong, because
Mm.
it was lawless country. Nobody knew who was in power. Nobody knew how to run it. And Lenin finally, like they sit down, and then that's where they created the parliament. They sit down and like we need to utilize the Marxist theories, and that's why they created the Lenin's Marxist theories, right? And this is the origin of communism.
And see, I don't know if I'm going too off the rails, but that where lies my problem with creating a civilization versus indoctrination of people. Because like
Mm-hmm.
you want to make something civil and make it work for society, but you don't want to overly heavy hand enforce your way and indoctrinate a whole group of people into your way of thinking, and that's what a lot of them did in the mid 1900s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know if it's borderline like teeter tottering, but civilization just seems something a lot more peaceful than creating a whole movement, political movement. I don't know. I get that's the difference between some people that are
Well,
power hungry.
yeah,
You
and
said.
then that's the thing is the very, very first idea, like the blanket of Marxist and Leninist theories, right? The very, 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 like the blanket. It does sound appetizing because everybody's equal, right? Everybody's equal. Everybody has the same stuff. Everybody, there's like the way a salary is. So I don't like to particularly make this kind of correlation, but I do it as an example. Military, U.S. military or any kind of military, right? There's a structure. There's lower ranking, you're able to move up, but everybody's wearing the same kind of thing. Everybody able to afford the uniform, or if they can't, it's provided for them. There's tiers that you have to move up and everything, right? And that's the basics of the communism. Is everybody has the same thing, everybody has the job. If you want to move up, you have the kind of like a tiers that you're able to move up. But the problem is when you give all of that power to one man, all of that power, that one man will get corrupted, right? Because now they have all the power of all of the people. And when Lenin took over, like when the Bolshevik revolution happened, they didn't take in accountability how many people that Russia actually had. And then how many people that how many people that they really needed to help, and then what they needed to do. There's no pure structure, how to run operations, right? How to delegate. There's no pure structure. So what they did is they instilled fear into people, because fear, it has people believing that this is what it is. So that's where the propaganda was born, right? That's where like, oh, everything looks great in the big cities, but on the outskirts people are starving. And when Lenin, he ran a country with his council. Stalin was one of the his councils. And on deathbed, it's actually recently came out that on deathbed that there's a letter, a Lenin's deathbed, saying that Stalin, you should not let Stalin to be in power. He will ruin the communism. He will ruin the Russian society, right? Because Stalin's not even Russian. He's Georgian.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole different region, or not region, but yeah, it's outside of the
Yeah.
country.
So we can have a completely different live stream about Stalin. And like I said, when it comes to Russian history, when it comes to, and then we can start at 5,000 or 1,000, or we can go to all the way to like Mongol ruling of what, not even Russia before. So like it's about, like, it's all right here, because this is why I wanted to know where my ancestry came from. So that's
You
why
mean
I learned it all.
you hold a lot of that info. Like it's like, isn't like Bosnia and Yugoslavia a part of all that too, and Chechnya and all, like there's so much conflict that we don't really talk about in American
Yeah.
culture.
So Chechnya, for example, Chechnya, what Russia is doing to Ukraine right now, that did exactly the same thing to Chechnya. But Chechnya didn't have the support that Ukraine does.
And that makes sense because I like to follow sports, and there's some couple of UFC fighters that are from Chechnya, and they always talk about how it was war ravaged growing up there, and they hated it. And I hate that they're going to do that to Ukraine now too, for these the kids growing up there. People think
I shouldn't have played games on my laptop while I'm in history classes. Yeah. History was I loved my history classes. I was so fascinated to learn more and more and more. And because I was always that person to ask questions, and I was always that person to get shut down and say, like, just read a textbook. But I was like, but why? Why? So instead of just reading a textbook, I did my research, like staying late nights in the library doing or reading up other textbooks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm diagnosed ADHD PI, but I
Nice.
wasn't diagnosed until I was an adult. But it was pretty obvious that I should have been diagnosed earlier. So my attention was always somewhere else, even when it was really important stuff.
I just always wondered why my social studies teacher was pissed off, and so I was like, I better watch the news, and figure out what's going on in the world.
It's too much.
'Cause
Oh,
they were always
okay.
pissed.
So Magadon, actually, I looked up at something that he said that I should look up, and this one is from Fox 10 News. I'm interested about the story, and it was a body parts market. So I'm kind of like interested. It's a new segment. It's a new segment. So it's not. Yeah, it's a new segment. I don't know. You guys want to watch it? It's like 6 minutes 30
Yeah.
seconds.
I'm gonna be right back. I think I just got a delivery. Be right back.
Okay. Yeah. So, but we'll start it when he gets back. But yeah. So anything that deals with Russian history and where the Russian people, the origins itself, and how it was during like the Tsar Revolution and the lineage of the royalties. This kind of like my bit of nerdy topic that I just love to talk about, and it doesn't. I don't get paid money to talk about it, but or to learn it. It's just out of curiosity.
I mean, well, it's like a little niche specialty you have. You're like, I know a
Yeah.
little bit about that. You're like, I can talk on this.
Yeah. So like literally ask me question about any kind of decade of Russian history, and I'll be like, okay, I can comment.
I mean, I want to go to Russia one day, but I don't like the political climate right now, though. No, I don't think it's worth it as an American.
Yeah. So yeah, Stalin's mother was Ukrainian, but he never really cared for his family side anyways. Yeah, so but anywho, there's so much. We can have a whole live stream about Stalin if you guys want.
Yeah, I mean, with Lenin, Stalin. I mean, I've never talked to an Italian about Mussolini.
See, that's the thing. Like, I would not know how to comment or talk about Mussolini, right?
Yeah.
Because that's not my realm. It's like, well, it's interesting, but I don't know. I'm curious. Talk, learn.
I mean, I'd feel more comfortable asking a Cuban about Castro because that was more. It feels more recent. Mussolini feels a little more. That's almost 100 years ago now. If you
Yeah.
think about it, right?
Oh, we can have another live stream about Soviet Union serial killers.
Oh,
Nobody's
I didn't
talking
even.
about that.
Yeah, I never
Mhm.
thought about that, but that's a possibility.
So there's one serial killer in Soviet Union is Andrei Chikatilo. He killed over 56 children.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he used to catch them by the railroads. You see, like we can talk about that too. That'll be fun. All right. Yeah, exactly. See, whoa. See, everybody's
I
like,
wonder.
oh, and it's Ted Bundy shit.
You know how in Russia they have a lot of defenestration. I wonder if they're going to do that to the oligarchs here. When the regime takes over, like where they
I
push
don't know.
when they push them out the window.
Oh well, that's the standard. That's the push it out of the window, car bomb, or just a car accident. That's the standard. You didn't know that a lot of very smart opposition Russians tend to try to learn how to fly.
Yeah, and out of a hotel window, right?
Yeah. And another thing is like the chemical weapon. It's pretty standard, or like any like radiological materials is pretty standard too, like poisoning.
Just
Mhm.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere, like with Novichok, in England with what is that, the guy and his daughter, the Skripal case with the Novichok, where you guys heard about that?
I've heard about a lot of cases where they passed mysteriously.
Well, they didn't. They actually survived this
Oh,
time
really?
around. Yeah,
Oh.
but they collapsed at they collapsed on the bench because they didn't feel good after the restaurant and stuff. So they just kind of like sat down, and both of them just kind of collapsed. But then that means that when they went from the house to the park to the restaurant to the bench, contaminated everything in the middle of between whatever. And then there's the other lady found this like little perfume bottle stuff. She's like, and then she was kind of a hoarder, so she just likes to pick stuff up from the ground. And she's like, "Oh, perfume, this and that, smell it." And then she passed away. Her husband got sick because he was like, "Oh, I don't think I like this perfume," right? We can
So,
talk about
like,
that too.
It contaminates civilians.
I bet Elon Musk is gonna make people's Teslas go off cliffs like the full self-drive.
Probably.
I heard that there was this actually contrary to that, Tingle Tits, and sorry, Zanime. I don't
Yeah.
know. I heard about it. I can't say it's for certain it's 100% true, but there was this man that was trying to unalive himself and his family, drive off a cliff, and the Tesla corrected it and didn't allow him to drive off the cliff.
What?
I heard
That's
something
cool.
about that too.
That's actually good. That's
Yeah,
actually
and the
yeah.
dude had to, he's gonna go to jail. I'm sure he deservedly so. I mean, if I was a cop, I'd be like, oh yeah, you gotta go to jail, dude.
Yeah. I
So
was like, you try to unalive yourself,
So shout out, to Elon for that, I guess.
All right, so let's see this news segment. Magadon, this is the one that you were kind of talking about? Okay, so that's the thing. It's like it's a news segment, so I was like, okay, we can watch it, so it's not just somebody's video. Okay, by the way, you guys, I don't know what we're getting into with this video, so you say it's good.
At a former Florida medical examiner who authorities say had kept body parts hidden in a Pensacola storage unit.
We're, of course, talking about former medical examiner Michael Birkeland. As Fox 2 News reporter Andrew Perez explains, it's not his first time getting into trouble.
That's right, Bob. Letitia, we introduced you to Michael Birkeland
cool.
back in 2007 after
That's
medical
cool. That's
officials
his
say
news
he
segment.
failed to complete more than 100 autopsy reports in Northwest Florida. He was fired for it, ultimately had his
Did
license
the work for
pulled.
7
but
years.
At what point does a doctor's actions actually become criminal? Authorities say Birkeland was walking that fine line. A warning, some of what you are about to see may be disturbing.
We trust doctors with our lives, but we also trust them in death.
So,
a medical
woman in the
examiner's
interview.
job is crucial to solving criminal cases or determining death benefits. More importantly, it's closure for families looking to heal.
The family wants answers to why their loved one's deceased.
Director of the District 1 Medical Examiner's Office, Jeff.
Wait, so basically he kept the body parts and then as in like try to sell the body parts, or just like kept the body parts? It's interesting. Like, okay.
Martin says it's closure, though, that's been begun for some families across Northwest Florida. Tucked away in a storage unit in Pensacola, authorities found more than 100 human organs and tissue from more than 100 different bodies. The renter of the unit, former medical examiner Michael Birkeland.
We found human hearts, we found complete human brains still intact. They hadn't been dissected or sectioned, which normally that's the part of the autopsy process is to actually look at the tissues.
Reports show Birkeland's unit B12 reached default status for failure to pay on at least.
It's like, oh yeah, here you go. I'm taking care of my loved one and everything else, and come to find out, there's one of their body parts is kept at a coroner's office.
Yeah,
It reminds me. Did you guys hear about that case in Colorado about the home that I think it was like a
Wasn't it a funeral home?
Yeah, like a funeral
Yeah.
home, and they were billing people for sending it off to be cremated, but they never did. And they just had a storage facility full of bodies that just, even
Yeah.
though they were in like coolers, they were decomposing and like kind of melting.
Yeah, I heard about that. There were some of them were in this polyethylene buckets things, right? Because lye doesn't go, but chemical composition doesn't go through polyethylene. So, like, that's nuts. Like what century are we living in?
So, Armageddon, you were interviewed in this.
Well,
Have we seen Armageddon
she
yet?
said, yeah, so she said that I'm the woman. We haven't seen that yet. And then so she did the work for 7 years, and it's her own news segment.
Interesting.
Okay.
6 different occasions. Each time he settled just
Yeah,
before
it's the work.
repossession, but in August, the unit was officially seized and sold at auction. Martin says the parts found inside were 10 to 15 years old, all retained from private autopsies Birkeland had been performing on the side during his career at the medical examiner's office. Now, about half of these parts and tissues, investigators say, were stored in things like styrofoam cups. They were also wrapped in things
Whoa.
like sandwich boxes
Oh,
and
gross.
Ziploc bags.
Yeah, I want an organ
The other
from
half
that.
are stored in
Hey,
actual
Bernadette.
containers. Investigators say it
Hey,
doesn't
Bernadette, what's up, babe?
Bernadette is here. You want to join the panel too?
This is
Time
crazy.
out human organs in styrofoam cups.
Yeah. This is we went from talking to from like some politics, some Soviet KGB people, to some brief communist history, to body parts and styrofoams.
Yeah, it's been all over the spectrum.
Friday night shenanigans.
A baby with no DNA. Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Okay.
doesn't appear that Birkeland actually had a reason to keep all these parts.
Looks like he's kept pretty much everything that he's kept or that he's performed an autopsy on while he's been in the state of Florida. I mean, there's so many. It doesn't look like they were just random selected cases that he kept.
Birkeland worked at the District 1 medical examiner's office from 1997 until 2003, when he was fired for not completing autopsy reports.
It's common.
His office says he was given several chances to complete them, but he never did. And complaints from family members, they kept piling up.
It's the worst thing ever. It's a nightmare.
Michelle Helderman says she's been dealing with Birkeland for years
That guy
following the
doesn't look
death of her
creepy at
baby
all.
back in 1998 in South
Wait,
Carolina.
was that a
I was in
Megadon?
the hospital for about 6 hours in labor.
Did a
We had a
Megadon?
healthy heartbeat,
Is that her?
and I wasn't dilating, so they decided to do a C-section.
Doctors told her the
don't
baby
know.
was
Is it
stillborn,
you?
but she had her doubts. In a deposition, a midwife testified that she felt the baby's heartbeat. Helderman
Oh,
moved
it
to
is her.
Pensacola in 2001,
cute.
and by 2004 had the body exhumed so that Birkeland could investigate.
At my house, he looked over all my paperwork and said that, he would help me out with my case, and then he had thought that there was some, something fishy about everything.
She claims she paid him $4,000 for an autopsy and DNA test. She says she was shocked when the results came back from the lab.
No results, no DNA.
Helderman says the body was fully intact and was told by the DNA lab that it may have been tainted. She says Birkeland's autopsy came back more than a year later with no new information. At this point, the medical examiner's office says there's really nothing they can do for Helderman. The office, however, says it's gotten numerous complaints from families throughout the area with similar stories about Birkeland.
Our big
That's
thing
crazy.
in this,
Yeah, that's
that we
insane.
heard from a lot of families, is
Yeah.
that they just
Yeah.
never heard back from him. I mean, this is
Okay, well, did anything happen? Like, did he get prosecuted, or so he was switched at birth and they stole the baby? What?
Wow.
Whoa.
This is nasty work that they
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to get as far as I did. Good for you, though. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, let's finish this really fast, and then we can move on to.
These are cases where, the families would pay him to perform the service, and then he would never issue autopsy reports in the cases.
We've tried to reach out to Berkland for his side of the story. Both of his known addresses, though, are vacant. We also paid several visits and put in numerous calls to his attorney, Eric Stevenson. At last word, Stevenson said they are currently working on a defense, looking to explain just why Berkland kept so many organs and tissue for so long.
His lawyer's quoted as saying he's storing them there just as he would, as a lawyer would legal files.
Florida State Attorney Bill Evans says Berkland is facing
they just like legal files, and styrofoam cups
charges for now. But given the bizarre circumstances, he says he's expecting to add theft charges to that.
We had a conference call with all 20 state attorneys from throughout Florida shortly after this, and I asked if any of them had any experience with anything of this nature, and nobody had.
A lot of these families that we've talked to had no idea, and so making that telephone call to them and trying to explain to them that we actually have the brain or the heart of one of their loved ones.
Yeah, I think it is a felony.
Extremely shocking to them.
Desecration.
Expect to make a formal decision in the coming week. For now, it appears we've not heard the last of Michael Berkland. Now, records show Berkland also had his license revoked at his last job in Missouri for not completing.
What year was this? Like 7 years ago?
Yeah, it looks a little older.
Yeah, maybe like early 2000s. I don't know. Armageddon, what year was that?
But I don't know. But yeah, what Tinkleton was saying isn't abuse or AB of a
Yeah, I think so too. Like it's a felony, right?
It's called like desecration of the corpse.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, so almost 30. My son was almost 30 years ago.
Damn. Oh wow.
Whoa. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Like that is terrifying. You have to go through the process of like grieving as well, and come to find out like what.
Have they because I know a lot of families kind of get reunited if some people do family history, genetic testing and stuff like that. Some people find out they're adopted that way too. Sometimes parents never even tell their kid.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not trying to give Armageddon hope or anything like that. I'm just saying, who knows?
Yeah, it's true. Like, do the ancestry, somebody's looking out there. So my husband's father he was adopted, and he always knew that he was adopted. And then he did the ancestry kit. Come to find out, he had a sister. So he actually like met with her, and now they have a pretty good relationship. And I was like, oh, that's really neat. He never knew. He like throughout his whole life, he never knew he had a sister.
Well, I thought that my brother and I potentially had different parents, but we don't. I don't look like my brother, or at least I don't think I do.
Well, we think my sister and I have different parents, but it's because we're so different, but we look so much alike.
My great grandfather, he's German, so he was born in Germany. His father, I guess, he had an affair with a maid, so he was a rich guy, and he couldn't have the kid born under his name, so he was put up for adoption. He got adopted here in America by a Spanish family. He fought in World War II against Germany. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, yeah.
It's kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, except Arnold's Austrian.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I look brown on here. I don't know how the lighting is, but I don't know if you could tell I have German blood in me.
Yeah, we can totally tell that you have German blood in you.
Right?
Maybe German saw something in you.
I'm a mutt too.
Maybe I ate a wiener schnitzel once, I guess, and I think that's about it.
Yeah,
Or are
hey,
you
those are tasty actually.
you hear that, Bernadette? He's had wieners in him.
Oh, how American. We love chili dogs, okay? But yeah, Armageddon, that's crazy to have that person here when the story's going down and they're talking about it.
Yeah. Hey, I turned down my lights. Actually, it's working.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like it. It's more clear this way around. Sorry, guys, I got squirrels. It's always a squirrel moment. No, because I was admiring your guys like the dim little lighting and stuff, and I felt like mine was so bright. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been playing around with my lighting too. I just took down my nano leaves, and I don't know if you guys have used nano leaves, but they messed up my wall. I had to like repaint part of my wall.
Ooh.
What do they do? They stick the color on there or what?
Yeah, well, it's just like you know what like adhesive like 3M stuff. The nano leaves, it's like a huge chunk of like a solid thing. It's not like a command strip where you could just like peel it off. It's like this blob of adhesiveness, and the first time that I took off one of the big nano leaf panels, totally ruined my wall. Like a big patch, like a few inches by a few inches. But I just wanted to put up more of these glide light things because I just got tired of my other lights.
So I have like right in front of me. Before a lot of the sound was because I'm sitting like in front of the naked wall, and before the sound was like kind of bouncing off all the time, so it sounded like really echoish. So I wanted to kind of create of a bubble in here, like painting, like this painting I did like right over here. It has the sound dampers in it, just kind of like bounce it off. But what I did messed up at the very beginning is something that is right in front of me. It's like a big sticky thingy, and then I was like, oh well, it doesn't seem like too sticky, so I was like, okay, I just put it on the wall. Yeah, it's like it's hard to peel it off, but right now I'm just gonna keep it here.
Well, you know what I read on when I was taking off more of the adhesive stuff, what someone on Reddit had said a good way to do it is to use like a paint scraper.
Yeah, so this is
nice.
what I'm looking at. So, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about, like this foam pad right here. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's a 3M tape you were saying. Yeah, that like Tingles was saying that. Yeah, it's hard to like pull off without that layer of paint getting pulled with it. Ugh.
Oh yeah, this is a 360 view of my studio.
You know what that reminds? Oh, that's awesome. But you know what it reminds me of too is when you get a gift for somebody from the holidays and you don't want them to see the price tag.
Oh, I love that.
And you try to take the price tag off the gift without tearing the box.
Oh yeah, and you're like,
you're like, I don't want them to see that I pulled this price tag. That's the same thing with the paint on the wall. It's like,
I hate it when products come with the sticker on it, and then you have to like use a lot of like hot water and soap, and it's just like, why do companies do that? It's pissing me off.
Hot water.
So I'm against nano leaves now. Ever since my experience with them, like messing up my wall, never again.
Yeah.
I love your studio. This is a pretty neat camera angle right there.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Nice. Yeah, I have and then my dog's not in right now, but like I have, my dog camera, which it could be a foot cam for people with foot fetish.
Oh. Yeah. So do you have a 3 different like webcams set up or anything? Yeah.
Yeah. They're all like mounted to stuff. Well, I guess I could take off my main one. Hold on.
Nice.
I saw Bernadette said she loves the Prince vibes because we all have purple.
Oh man, my main one.
Oh yeah, we're having a Prince vibes.
It froze. We make him froze at the dumbest angle. Oh my god.
Yep. Friday night shenanigans.
Man, I wish I had wine.
Confettis. Oh, hey, you never know. This is a late night Xana talk show, Friday night shenanigans after. Oh, and we lost him.
We
Um,
lost. I think the feet were too much. Oh, that
Oh,
was
there
too
it
hot
is.
to handle. Huh? Oh, there it goes.
Well, I was just like, I don't know why my main one's still not. I'm just like testing it to see if it switches to it, if it like works again. But no, my OBS is just like, maybe I'd have to restart OBS. I don't know, but that's okay. I'll just go to the RAIN one. Is it doing it? Oh my god.
We miss you, Bernadette. We miss like you need to come hang out with us sometimes. You don't have to do it tonight. It's okay. You know, because we've been here for quite a
Okay,
bit now too.
That camera works.
Damn. I think he likes his feet. He's still giggling.
You know, I don't know what. Only my pup cam's working right now.
What is going on?
I accidentally. Oh wait, that camera's back up. Okay.
This is definitely Friday night shenanigans, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with my main cam.
I watched a few episodes of Fear the Walking Dead and kept trying to change the colors to match the scenes. Oh, that's pretty cool.
I
I
love
have
Fear the Walking Dead.
I have this hold on. So I have this the behind my TV, I have the lights behind the TV. So whenever something is on TV, it matches the colors on TV as well. So it like changes the colors to create that pretty cool vibe and everything too.
Yeah, I have these
nice. I've
lights
seen
that are
this.
like that too. It's like it's monster lights that I have here, these light bars, and I can change the scenes. And like, I guess if I play music or audio or themes, I can control it from my phone right here, like all the
Nice.
colors. And
Nice.
it's kind of cool. Like I want to mess with that a little bit, but you know, I do want to make sure I put my money in the proper place. So I don't-
This ruckus is starting to stink. All the feet.
Oh yeah, the feet cam, huh? I think they were talking about the Tingle Tits' foot cheese.
Hey, we just need some styrofoams.
Yeah,
I don't have
Save
foot
some of that.
cheese. I wash
Styrofoam
my
cups.
feet.
You
I
can
wash my feet every
colonize-
single day.
Colonize some fungus from your foot in a styrofoam cup.
There's a zombie behind me. I don't know who my hubby is. No, that's my hubby over there.
I had to unplug my my camera fully.
So I have I'm just playing around like with two cameras, and then these are like my main two, and then this one is usually my pup cam because it's easier
Mhm.
set up and it's pretty maneuverable. But that one is this one is more of how would you say it? Like it's more of like an actual like a good video camera. It's Sony A7 III. So it's pretty like clear and
Mhm. I would just say maybe mess with your aperture, ISO, and the white balance on it, and then you're good.
yeah, like I've been playing around with different settings. I have presets.
Yeah. If you
Um,
take it off automatic, I think you're solid. You just got to find out the right settings for you. You just went totally dark. Oh, there
Oh,
you go.
perfect. There it is. Oh, there it
Color
is. Yeah.
bars.
Anyways, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was
my
messing around with
main
mine
cam's
with
on
that, too.
automatic too. So like I'm focused now, but then the back, like it just auto focuses mine, but it's not a fancy camera like that. I just have a Razer camera.
Oh no, see, I have mine. My lens is fixed on the focus, so I'm like in this range. I'm like taped off. Like I'm set up my mark, so I'm like I can't really move too much. Like my hands out of focus right here, out of
Mhm.
focus here, and I'm focused here. So yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
What was that?
So what's that? It's a skeleton.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard a slam.
Yeah. So this camera is like it can focus, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it's like it has a pretty good focus. I like it. This one
Yeah,
is
it's
an
good.
older Logitech. I had it for years. But I
Oh,
want
that's
to get
nice.
like one of the. They have multiple Logitechs right now. That's kind of, and you can like switch in between them because they're wireless. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
So you can like hook one here, and then have the 360 Zen studio view.
Oh, it's nice. No, I like it, and I also like your little soundboard you have too. So that was a nice one.
That's my hubby. He's the musician in the crowd. He's the one. I got the boom, right, because
Yeah.
it's easier for me. I did this, but the whole sound, everything else, that's all him. Yeah. I was like, thank you.
And look, I was seeing Bernadette was saying Tingletits has the crown over his head.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
look
those,
like.
I didn't know that.
Wait. Move it a little bit. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I decided to like make it because normally it's like a rainbow prismatic colors. And the app to control it is utterly terrible. So I'm not gonna even try playing with it on stream. But I have DDR hooked up on my computer. I have a metal DDR pad. I'm afraid to move my camera because I don't want to disconnect it again. I guess my main camera is very sensitive. If you can see. Hold on, let me angle my camera.
I'm jealous of his setup.
I know. Of his setup.
So I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a DDR pad right there. I have a metal DDR pad on the ground.
Nice. You know, it's kind of funny. He doesn't even have a YouTube channel.
I know.
Yeah, I used to be an arcade nerd.
He just has a setup.
Yeah. Dance Revolution, everything up there.
Right. I do have so like I have lights that actually runs like right here at the very top, but I can't seem to get them work right, and I don't know. Like I have to really figure out. There's the string, whatever. They're like I don't know how to show. Here, let me. So it's these. So
Oh
this
yeah,
is-
the LED yellow strips. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a little strip light, whatever.
Is it touching a guitar? It sounds like a guitar string or something.
No, it's not. It's not. It's this. It's the boom.
Oh.
Like the
It really sounds. It sounds like a guitar string.
I think it's the coil on the
Yeah, it's the
arm.
coil on the boom. But then I also have like. But I created this kind of art. You kind of can't really see it. There's lights behind it. But this one has like a damping sound thing, so it doesn't. So it kind of provides that hollow corner, so it doesn't. The sound doesn't bounce off.
So the light behind your blinds, that's LED strip too?
This one?
No, that's going in your blinds. Like it looks like there's a light inside your blinds.
There's no light inside my blinds.
Oh no. Oh, okay. So it's on the outside. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. No, here. So the lights that you see behind me, right?
Mhm.
They are newer lights, and here, let me see if we can.
Oh, I see. So they're reflecting
Yeah,
onto.
yeah. They're just freestanding,
Mhm.
freestanding lights, and I have two of them facing
Maybe.
out and facing in.
So they're bouncing off them. I see. Okay. Cool. You see, it's cool to learn about how people set up their things differently.
Right, nerding out on some stuff, and I like how the lights actually make my hair look purple.
Yeah, no, it does look
Yeah,
cool.
it looks kind of like Rogue's hair a little bit. It almost looks like a streak.
Right, it's not. Are you guys watch like cartoons, anime, or anything?
I do sometimes.
I was
Sorry?
my high school's vice president of the anime club.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
I was
Arcane.
such an anime nerd.
Have you guys seen the Arcane?
I want to watch it.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Like, so the visuals, the actually like the animation style, and then the combination of the different visuals, and then how they move like the visuals around it. The storyline is great. I honestly think it's like one of the best cartoons I have ever seen, because of the combination of everything. and utilization of music and a transition music. So if you are like ADHD and kind of notice every single aspect of it, it's very mind-gasming.
Okay, I am torrenting season 1 right now.
Yes, you should watch it. It's cool. And yeah, I kind of like this. It's like showing.
So it's 2 seasons. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it on? Oh, it's on Netflix. Well, I guess. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm in the hoarding phase again. Like, even though I have Netflix, I'm saving everything that I can because I don't know what the hell's going to happen with the internet in the future
Mm-hmm.
in America.
Yeah, I kind of like this little bit of like a dark, mysterious stranger light. No, my other camera.
Yeah, well, you have more like the depth of field and the focus on that one too.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives it a little more of a.
You think we're just nerding out on cameras and lights, and it's pretty cool. I like it. All right, so you guys, hi, you guys. We've been here. Well, I've been here
I should
for
download
3
that too.
hours. Hmm?
Yeah, I need to go pick up my boyfriend.
Nice.
He was texting me. He's like, "What are you up to?" And I'm just like my friends are streaming right now, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Can you pick me up?" And I'm just like, "Can you just come here?"
Oh, that's funny.
He might be
No,
watching.
we-
I linked him to this. So
He's probably the one that's hitting the dislike button, because he's like, wait, you weren't
Hey,
supposed to show your
engagement's
feet
engagement.
on a live stream.
Yeah, and I probably have to
He's
go
like, "Those
check
are
on
my
my
feet."
girlfriend soon too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernadette is missing you. But
Yeah.
so thank you all so much for coming here, and this was fantastic. I will split this live stream into 2 because some actually important stuff came out like earlier. But I love this. We should do Friday night shenanigans or any kind of shenanigans. It doesn't have to be like super scheduled. It can be like really spontaneous like it was tonight. And I would love like to have Bernadette or anybody else if we can create an open panel too.
Mhm.
That could be
Be
fun.
awesome. All for
Hey,
it.
open panel?
Sanimate.
Ooh, yeah.
Sanimate, you inspired me. Because the other day I heard your ringtone and I was like, God damn it, I want the Tetris ringtone. So I got the Tetris ringtone too.
Okay, so it was between Mario ringtone, Superman, or Tetris. So I
Yeah,
did
mine was Mario before that. I went from Mario to Tetris.
So now I'm gonna I did the Nintendo Wii. You know the little like area, the waiting area. I had that at the beginning. I was like, I don't know, it sounds too corporate, so I just wanted to like have like an original Tetris sound. So cool. Yay.
My
actually
old
wanna get the
ringtone, because
Wii
I used to
too.
work in the office 5 days a week. My old ringtone was the dial-up sound. So like people could call me and people would just think that it's like a dial-up or something. Like it was, it's a good sound to have in an office.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's my imitation of that ringtone.
Yeah, I was like, what are you
I'm
doing?
downloading season 1. I will download season 2.
Right. All right. But anyways, it was fantastic. I always love having you both on a show. And I always love to next time around we'll probably like maybe can schedule something and do just in like straight up open panel, raw shenanigans type deal, browse through videos, get kicked off YouTube type, right? But
Sounds good to me.
Thank you all so much. And guess what? So I'm trying to there's selection that I'm trying to get to end the stream. Yep, we're making it happen. I'm talking through it anyway, so we're just filling in blank space, so nobody's feeling awkward here.
No worries.
Yeah, just feeling the air. No dead air.
It
Okay,
was
guys.
Right,
Let's keep it
there's no
going. Let's
dead
keep it
air,
rolling.
so we're gonna learn how to keep talking through the dead
Yeah,
air.
because we're gonna keep it going. I
Dead
thought
air
we were
is
gonna
sometimes okay. Dead air is sometimes okay if it creates more concentrated thoughts. But for me, I don't have concentrated thoughts that often. So
I'm actually in the process of getting late stage ADHD diagnosis. Okay, so I totally get.
I think I have adult
But hey, when you do ADHD testing, I'm not sure like who you're doing it through. I did it through Kaiser, and then I also did it through like a private firm. When part of the ADHD testing, so first of all, they do like questionnaires. They ask like if you have like, your closest of kin or people that you're like very close to, they have you fill out like all these like multiple choice questions and stuff like that. But then also they sit you in front of a computer. And I used to play competitive video games. So I'm just like, I'm kind of cheating at this because my peripheral vision and my reflex time is so good that like I feel like normal ADHD people would do worse. But because like I've been training for a long time, for years of like, shooting games and like,
Well,
headshotting
did you tell
everyone.
them that?
I did. So like Kaiser at first, they were like, no, you don't have it. But this was already after I was diagnosed with a different practice, but then I switched insurance. Don't want to bore you guys. But
No, this is
if you're going through
interesting,
yeah, but if you're going through the process of it, like that's just maybe something that they're going to have you do too. So just be like, look, I'm trained with clicking. So, judge me, score me a little bit less intensely on like the computer part because like I live on the computer.
Yeah. Well, so I'll go through VA to get this process done, and then they asked me like, why didn't I get a diagnosis, beforehand? And I was like, well, first of all, I came from Soviet Union, right? There's no such thing as mental health or getting this kind of diagnosis back in the day. And when I came to America, I joined the military. I didn't want to. I thought it was just part of my personality because I was still in the discovery stage, right? And like I don't want to get any kind of crazy diagnosis because like what if I get kicked out of the military? Like what if my career is over, right? So I never like really pursued it. But now it's getting worse and worse as I get older. And I guess it's a very, very common with women my age that went with undiagnosed ADHD all throughout the life and then learn how to manage it. And we basically became like jacks of all trades and masters of none and everything. Like we're just overachievers and do everything and people pleasers and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, so I was talking to, my first thing was the test, right? Like the verbal test, like kind of sheet the questionnaire. And then the second one, I had to talk to a psychologist about it and get a recommendation for another department that concentrates on this. So I was able to pass those two. And the psychologist I was talking to, she's like, yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna like do like any computer test or anything. I have no idea.
Yeah, and here's the thing too is I was diagnosed ADHD PI, so that's a subclass. And so that's when I was under a different insurance. And then when I switched to Kaiser, they didn't test me for the PI for some reason. They just did like normal ADHD.
The PI stands for?
Predominantly inattentive. So there's subclasses to ADHD or to ADD. And so it's like they have to test specifically for certain things, and some tests might or may not like pick up on your mannerisms correctly. So yeah, just keep trying because they're not always accurate.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. And anyways, guys, this could be another live stream talking about mental health and ADHD, right?
Yeah.
So many ideas.
Yeah.
All over the place. Okay.
All my synapses are going.
So your friendly neighborhood emergency manager right here with the two knuckleheads that are amazing people. And we have here, right there.
There you go.
Hey, high five. Wait, high five. Head down low. There you go.
All right, team. All right.
Yep. It happened. All right. So stay true to yourself. Be yourself. Thank you guys for hanging here. We'll be in touch, and peace.
All right. Chat with you guys later. See you guys. All right. Bye.
Bye.